Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Scoresworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. Connor producing for us on this Friday. We're Sports Time, and we're with you for the next 3 hours, and a whole lot to get into over these next 3 hours. We had preseason NFL football on last night. We had a lot of baseball on last night, a big weekend in Major League Baseball, Olympics going on. We also have some NBA news as we're starting to get some games announced for the NBA, specifically the Christmas Day slate. So we'll get to all of that throughout these next 3 hours. But, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well. We're getting more and more preseason games announced for the NBA. And do they play 3 or 4? What have we settled into?
I think it's 4, but they might be down to 3. It feels like they're changing it every year.
It does, and a lot of international locales for some of those preseason games and some regular season, but it always the dance to the full release that I think will come next Thursday or Friday afternoon, and that makes sense.
Sure.
You sure wouldn't want to do it right now in the middle of the Olympics.
No.
Next week we'll continue the greatest summer off season I can remember the NBA having. It's just never been a day of any deficit of news. It's been a lot. But that will come. But they always kind of tease us with those Christmas Day games, and we'll talk a lot about that. I think so. I think at 3:30, and the Grizzlies aren't in it. Do you know the only team that's never played on Christmas Day, home or road? Grizzlies never played at home, but they have played on the road one time. Only team that's never. I had to look it up.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Ding, 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 ding. That's a way to start
How
Friday.
About that, yes, sir.
By the Mega Millions
Love
ticket.
that, yes.
Good job.
You got to think of a team that they wouldn't care to put on television, and that's the first team that came to mind. So
yeah, and I couldn't find it anywhere to find, and I looked to see what club we're in to having never hosted. It can't be many.
No, it can't.
Been playing on Christmas Day since 1947.
Wow.
I mean, I knew it was kind of always there, and the all-time scoring record on Christmas Day, Bernard King, Christmas night, 1984, and remind me sometime to tell you a great story about that game.
I will. I'll put that.
Fifth leg of a 5-team parlay.
Oh, geez.
The over, I think it was Bulls-Knicks in the over, and Bernard King was just magic for us.
I can only imagine. That sounds like
it involved
a great tease for a great story.
Involved a blue-gray game. Involved I think a Rainbow Classic game.
Holy cow!
It was a menagerie of games, but that was the winner late on Christmas night, 1984.
Wow! So yes, Christmas Day games good to you in the past.
Yes.
So we have that slate out, which an interesting slate. Definitely some good things on it. You mentioned it. We'll probably talk about that in our next segment at 3:30. How much? What kind? I guess I shouldn't ask how much. What kind of Olympics have you been watching today?
I've had it on 205 on the Olympic Experience channel most of the day.
Okay.
Right now, I'm at first game of Guardians Twins in a really long day of baseball in downtown Minneapolis. That I think if the Twins, so 2 today, 1 tomorrow, 1 Sunday, a sweep, and Cleveland hears them knocking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Minnesota's had the quiet, great year. And this would maybe make the noise, but I've had it mostly when I've gone to Olympics. I've had it on the Paris Olympics TV experience, and right now synchronized swimming.
Oh, I love that.
Field hockey.
There we go. Got to be down to like the semifinals or so in the field hockey.
I think handball.
Oh, I love some good handball.
I think handball. I'm not sure what that is. Commercial on 2 and maybe wrestling on 1. Is that I think that's
could be wrestling. Could be taekwondo. We started taekwondo today.
How about that?
I saw that earlier. So that leads me.
Have you ever taekwondo?
I've not. No, I've never come anywhere close to taekwondoing. It leads me to my question that I was going to ask. Really, what all of this has been building to. you watched any of the breaking today? It was
I have.
Thursday breaking. Have you?
I watched some of the breaking earlier.
Wow.
And good luck to them.
Yeah, not my cup of tea.
No,
was not a fan of it.
This may be the breaking that I thought was Taekwondo. It's some celebratory dance. I don't.
It could be breaking. Who knows?
I mean, how do you really know? But okay. But
yeah.
I didn't watch it for long, but I watched some. Yes.
I tuned in for a couple minutes and I said, okay, that's enough for me. And then I changed it. Good luck to the USA, though. I mean, if they win gold, then I'll be really happy for them.
Don't you think? Now, I sure couldn't with my age and my build, but someone like you, don't you think you could be out on a Friday night in Soho and go, yeah, won a gold medal in breakdancing?
Yeah, yeah.
Pass it around the bar?
I mean, hey.
I mean, we couldn't do it in basketball.
No, certainly
we couldn't do it in shot put.
Certainly not.
And just our physical build.
That's right.
Would eliminate a lot of sports.
But breaking, sure, I could convince some people.
Brought home the gold.
What other sports?
No, you wouldn't go. You wouldn't want to go that extreme because the Google machine and everything. Just brought home the bronze.
Brought home the bronze. Yes, I was a bronze medalist. I was on the stand back some year, and
I can tell you the go-to for that for a little bit of exaggeration. The proverbial, late 70s, played tennis at Tulane. I mean, who knew?
Nobody. Nobody.
Play tennis at Rice.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
good. Okay. That's great.
Nobody's gonna question that.
No.
There's really no way to question it.
I mean, the only way would be to dig through an annual at those schools.
Yes.
Especially in those times.
Oh, yeah. Which, I mean, that would be, if you're at a bar somewhere and you're passing that story along, nobody's doing that. So you're pretty good on that.
Yeah. I was on the junior varsity baseball team.
There you go. Absolutely.
At Texas Tech in 78.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Nobody knows.
No. Everyone's, okay, cool. Good deal. But no, it's been fun at the Olympics. Women's basketball won earlier this morning.
Of course they did.
Very easy win for them. It's been very easy the entire way. Now they'll play for gold right now. I think we're at halftime of France and Belgium as they're playing in the semifinals. Right now, Belgium up 36-31 as they get ready to start the third quarter.
I see young Mr. Eagle on my box.
There you go. He has been awesome through the Olympics. He's been really, really impressive. And I know we were talking to Keith yesterday about him. And, maybe, I don't want to call it a tryout, but, maybe this pointing to or at least getting him on a NBC network for when they start NBC NBA games.
But everything's a tryout.
Sure. And so, but he's been, I've really enjoyed hearing him on all these games. He's been really good.
He gets it honestly, too.
Yes, he does. So, that's been a lot of fun to watch. I saw the women's 4x100 meter track got the win pretty easily today. Sha'Carri Richardson winning that one as the fourth and final leg. And then right after that, the men's team 4x100, they struggled. I think they finished like fifth. It was not a good race for them, but Noah Lyles did not end up running. We talked about him yesterday on if he would go after he won bronze yesterday in the 200 meter. He did not go today and was missed because the U.S. did not look very good without him. But that's at least what I've been watching today at the Olympics.
It's been a fun day. It's been a fun Olympics. It will wrap up with the closing ceremony on Sunday, right?
Correct. Yes.
Sunday mid-afternoon for us.
Yes, that sounds about right.
We mentioned Iron Eagle. I don't remember exactly the year, but it was still when Vern Lundquist was doing a lot of CBS college basketball. I mean, maybe not any December games because of his SEC and football duties, but certainly kind of from Super Bowl on, from February 1 on, he was doing something every Saturday and our Sunday, a lot of weekends, and a lot of times he was paired with Bill Raftery. Boy, don't you know they had fun?
Oh man, absolutely.
And I wasn't that familiar with Iron Eagle and did not know that his affectionate nickname is Bird, which makes sense.
Sure,
last name Eagle.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing Bill Raftery call him Bird, but I'm thinking he's calling him Vern. And I'm going, oh no, I hope this is not happening in front of our eyes. That Bill Raftery's, kind of losing his. He wasn't. I didn't know and couldn't hear well.
Right.
But he was calling him Bird, and they I think they had done New Jersey net games or Brooklyn net games together for a long time. I will watch Iron Eagle a lot of nights with Richard Jefferson on Yes Network doing Nets games.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And so it's always, I'll always kind of forget that he's on Nets games, and then I'll with League Pass, I'll flip over to a Nets game randomly, and I'll be like, oh, I know that voice. So it's always a pleasant surprise. He's
doing a basketball game somewhere from October 25th through one shining moment.
That's right. And so it's nice
to
hear.
But he still hadn't done a Final Four for CBS. He will next year. They get it next year.
Yeah,
this year
be,
it was TNT.
A lot of fun. Yeah. So last night we had our first 2 NFL preseason games, I guess real preseason games. How much did you watch of those games?
I tried. I really did. It was snooze festers, wasn't it?
They were both very slow games, yes.
And the hero for the Giants, Tommy DeVito.
That's right. DeVito mania, Brett. It's back. How about that?
It is.
Good for him.
If they have to play him more than 5 straight starts, they're finishing in last place.
Well, I think if he gets anywhere near five starts, I think already in trouble for the Giants, because I don't think he'll even be backup to start the season. I would hope Drew Lock would be the backup, and so if you're having to turn to him as a starter during the season, that means Drew Lock has not panned out as you thought as a backup, and probably injury for Daniel Jones.
I've got a theory.
Okay.
We're going to 18 games
for sure.
No matter if they did or didn't, but I think. No conspiracy at all, but I think they're showing we don't need 3 games, don't play anybody, and just drive this over the cliff and make the public beg for that 18th game.
Yeah, because honestly, it's starting to get to the point where I'm surprised when I see a starter that's going to play. It's usually just all backups, and then when I see that a random starter is playing, then I get surprised. So I know John told me earlier there was a starter that was playing, and now a starting quarterback that was playing. Now I can't remember who he said it was this weekend. It's already been announced, and I was really surprised. Not a young guy, but a starting quarterback, veteran starting quarterback, and now I can't remember who it was that was going to start this weekend. And I was more surprised that he was starting instead of just. I think we should not be surprised that a starter is going to start in a preseason
Jordan Love
game.
Starting?
It could be Jordan Love, but this was like a veteran, like a guy that, with the way it's been going, you wouldn't think would be starting in a preseason game.
I saw that too, and who is it?
I can't remember now.
I
gotta look it up.
It's not Dak Prescott.
It's not Dak Prescott, no. Who was it?
Now he's got an injury.
Yeah, and geez, Brett, it's getting bad in Dallas. It was Josh Allen, I believe, is who John was telling me, and I was a little surprised. I'll be honest, I was a little surprised that
I thought it was someone else
was starting. Well, I'm sure there's more than one starting quarterback, but based on
don't blink.
Exactly, but what you're seeing in most preseason games now is, starters aren't playing. If they are, they're going out there 2 drives and then give it to the backups, and so it's just I think your conspiracy theory might be spot on.
Okay, yesterday in Jerry Jones's media gaggle availability, and when is he not available? And that's not changing. That can aggravate you. You can talk about the optics of it, the dynamic of it. He owns everything there. He loves it. It's his energy, and he's going to continue to do it. And I was watching Hot Take TV this morning, and they were just crushing him. I mean, everybody rolling their eyes and moaning and groaning about why. Why are you surprised that he goes out there and says something that you probably don't like? And most of the people on that panel, and I'm mostly the same way, they want to see everybody paid.
Sure.
I do too, because I know those owners have it, and I want those guys to get it because I know it can end in a blink of an eye, so I want them to get it. I want them to take care of their money, enjoy their money, and have the generational wealth. But why all the castigation of Jerry Jones every time he grunts? I just don't get that.
Yeah, and I think it's just he's
other than he's an easy target.
Exactly. That you stole the words out of my mouth. He's an easy target. You know that he's going to be out there saying stuff, and he's going to say things that you can twist or make your point about, and it's just it's easy with him. And so you get stuff like this. And when I first heard it, it didn't bother me as much about what he said. It more bothered me of, oh, this quote is going to turn into...
Always does.
This is,
like moth to a light. It always does.
The Cowboys are a mess. And
then they run with it, and just all the eye rolling and the moaning and groaning, I just think is so over the top. And nothing's going to change as long as he can breathe.
Sure. And I think I saw somebody even post that earlier today, kind of saying, let's calm down with all of these screaming hot takes about Jerry Jones, because he said pretty much the same thing back when Zeke was having a holdout. And
sure did.
Said, we're
in
no rush.
And one of Dak's contract.
Exactly. And with Zeke, it was like the next week or so. Like it was really quick after he made those comments that they got a deal set. And so this person was saying, don't worry about that. He's just talking. They'll probably get something very soon, hopefully, with CeeDee Lamb, and he'll be back with the team.
And I saw one of the explanations of why they were. I mean, and some are just repulsed.
Right.
Really, that's what repulses you. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine. Boy, I'd really hate to see something really bad come along.
Yeah.
But one of them, their hot take was, it's just too many non-football people making football decisions for the Cowboys. Well, I don't know where you've been since 1989.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing new.
Jerry Jones, and as soon as Stephen got out of the University of Arkansas, and their family, they're running it.
Oh, yeah.
If Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones by now haven't gained enough gravitas to be considered football people, then when do you?
Yeah, they've been around the game longer than most of the people complaining about it.
No kidding. They've been in that draft room every spring since 1989.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, we knew the day he bought the Cowboys, he never played it down in the NFL.
Yes.
We knew Stephen didn't. We know his sister didn't.
Yep.
We know the little brother Jerry didn't.
Right.
So what do you got to do to get your chops as a football person?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of always how it is. Is there's a unachievable bar set by some people to be a X-sport person or an X-sport mind, whether it's football mind, basketball mind, baseball mind. And
in fact, this person saying it, I know they hadn't played.
Oh, even better. Yeah, that makes it 10 times better. But
and want to kind of be the paragon of who is and who isn't a football person. I know what Jerry Jones did do. He bought the Dallas Cowboys for $140 million, and he can sell them today and walk away for about $7 billion.
Absolutely. Definitely, you cannot question who he is as a businessman, because he has definitely proven that time and time again. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day at 3:30. Brett mentioned it. We'll go through what is being reported. Shams Charania reported the Christmas Day slate last night. We'll take a look at the 5 games for Christmas Day, and we know that those games will be going up against a 2-game NFL slate also on Christmas. So we'll talk about what we think these games can do going up against the NFL. We'll do that in our next segment. 3:45, we'll talk some baseball. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BamSports.net will join us. Talk some wagering. We'll also talk some college football with him as we're getting closer to the start of the season. 4:30, we'll talk more college football, as it feels like every day more and more news coming out in the world of college football. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Brett's been teasing this for the last couple of days. We're going to take a look at the 1992 Dream Team and the 1996 Olympic Team and talk about which team was the better team, how they stack up against each other.
I'm armed with facts.
I love it. I was looking a lot at both these
indisputable
rosters.
Facts.
I'm excited for it. And the more I look at it, when you first brought it up, I said, well, Brett, first off, I don't know. I would have to go and look. I don't know. I obviously know a ton about the Dream Team, but I'm not as much about the 96 team. I've certainly seen clips of them and know who was on the team. So I need to go and look. And yesterday and today, after kind of looking at these rosters and looking at different things, But I got to tell you, I might be on your side. So
what if I told you
okay,
both the 92 team and the 96 team, 11 out of 12 players are in the Hall of Fame?
Whoa. Wow. That's incredible.
The only 92 player that's not in the Basketball Hall of Fame, and he should be because he's one of the top 5 college players of all time and had a journeyman, workman-like, decent, nothing special, NBA career to go on top of one of the top 5 college players of all time. That's Christian Laettner.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. 5 o'clock.
The only 96 Dream Teamer not in the Hall of Fame
is Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway,
wow.
And he should be.
He absolutely should
Almost
be.
in the Gale Sayers mode of so good while he was there and hampered by injury and 2 great college seasons.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm excited at 5 o'clock to look at these 2 rosters and stack them up head-to-head against each other. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together, and it's time for the world's biggest spa sale going on now at Family Leisure. Save thousands on in-stock hot tubs ready for delivery. Spa starting at $28.99. Cold plunges starting at $39.99. Swim spas starting at $17,499. And special financing, it's available at Family Leisure. And they've got huge discounts on all in-stock above-ground pools, too. All patio furniture priced to move. So head over to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
15 days till college football. Tomorrow makes 2 weeks, exactly 14 days. How quickly will 15 days go by, Bryant? 15 days ago was the day of the Dylan Cease no-hitter for the Padres.
You're kidding.
That's how fast it goes.
That feels like yesterday.
Holy cow. It feels like 45 minutes ago, doesn't it?
It honestly does.
We were on there. When are we not on there?
Yes.
Brian, guess where I was?
That's right.
When are we not? We are Sports Time. He's Brian. I'm Brett, and produced by Connor Dacus, and we're with you until 6 o'clock. We want you to join us at the Sissy's Log Cabin text or talk line at 901-360-8255, as always, in our Family Leisure Studios. And all our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity Summer Sales Event right now. Call them at 901-334-9673. But stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and driving in style. You can drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day has got to be the preseason action from last night. Both games a little slow, but it's football, so I was definitely watching both of these games. You had one game between the Lions and the Giants where the Lions kicked a field goal in the first quarter and then didn't score the rest of the game. The Giants didn't score in the first quarter, scored all 14 points in the second quarter, and then didn't score at all in the second half. In the other game, very similar, the Panthers did not score until late in the fourth quarter when the game was pretty much over. They kicked a field goal to give them 3 points. On the other side, the Patriots, they score a touchdown in the second quarter and then 10 points in the fourth quarter. So not a lot of offense in either of these games, but it was fun to watch. In that first game I mentioned, Lions and Giants, you had different quarterbacks in there. I doubt we'll see many of these names during the regular season as long as the starters stay healthy, but I know a lot of eyes here locally were on Hendon Hooker, the former Tennessee Volunteer quarterback. He was 5 for 9 for 36 yards through the air and also led the team in rushing with 34 yards on 4 carries. For the Giants, another local tie, some local flavor. Eric Gray, the former Lausanne running back, ran for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns on 4 carries. A really, really impressive impressive night for the young running back. At quarterback for the Giants, it was Tommy DeVito Mania. Back again, he threw for 92 yards on 8 for 15. In that second game, Panthers and Patriots, I've got to say this, Brett, my biggest takeaway from both of those games last night is the Patriot fans love them some Joe Milton. When he came in, his first pass, it was just a little stick route over to the side, and the sound from the crowd was incredible. It was the loudest I heard the crowd get all night was for his completion. He went down, later ended up throwing a touchdown pass. He also ran for 22 yards, so an impressive performance from him last night. So two Tennessee quarterbacks shining in their first start, I guess.
August 8th preseason game, it just screams Joe Milton, doesn't it?
It does. It screams Joe Milton.
Remember my love affair with him this time last year?
You had
Heisman
him
Trophy
winning Heisman.
winner,
That's
Tennessee
exactly
in the
right.
football playoff, college football playoffs.
Yes, so.
All seriousness, Hendon Hooker was on his way to winning the Heisman in 2021.
He was. And now I would love to
Bryce
see him.
Young won his Heisman.
You're absolutely right.
If he hadn't gotten hurt.
I would love to see him against maybe a better offensive line. Last night
Or was that 22?
I think that was maybe 22.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the years. But I'd like to see him behind a better offensive line. Last night he was kind of running for his life at times. That's why he ran for so many yards. So I'd like to be able to see him stay in that pocket and get the ball out. But
is he a ball for life or is he a hokey gobbler for life? What is he?
It's a good question. I mean, it's that question of
that's the debate
with
now.
The transfer portal. How does it work? I'll call him a ball for life. Why not? He finished at Tennessee.
I will too. All candor though. Breaking right now, Matt Infield from Action News 5 just tweeted that he could confirm that John DeFilippo out as the Memphis Showboats head coach, and he wanted to give credit to UFL News Hub as having it first, 2-8 in the only season for John DeFilippo as head coach of the Showboats. My top story: final weekend of the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, winning in every category right now. I think in the medal stands, it moves quickly.
It does move
the United States, I think, ahead. And the biggest order of business that remains: defeat France in the finals and win gold in basketball tomorrow afternoon. Last dance for so many of these NBA players. They won't be back for 2028, and I don't blame them. 6, 7, 8 Hall of Famers on this team at least. Steve Kerr's a Hall of Famer as the head coach. He if he's not in, he should be in. I think he will be in. Can't believe many will be back for Los Angeles in 2028, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 max. It will be the last time a lot of these players, even including all-star games, will ever be teammates.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people pointing that out last night, watching LeBron and KD and Steph
historic.
Playing together, taking over late was just magical to watch yesterday.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, Brett, who knew we'd be talking showboats on August 9th?
Shake it up, boats.
Wow, shake it up. You mentioned it, Matt Infield reporting that he can confirm John DeFilippo out as the Memphis Showboats head coach. I saw some rumors about this. I did not know it was reported by UFL News Hub, but I saw a couple people tweeting that
opening day got him. Giving that game away against San Antonio got him all year.
That changed the entire season. I think in an alternate universe where the Showboats win that game, completely different year.
Yeah.
Now, into the season, well, they won the final game to lock up the number 1 seed, and something interesting that the UFL did.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. And so I saw some rumors. I didn't know if it was true or not from people that cover the UFL. So now we know John DeFilippo out. I saw earlier today that ticket sales they're kind of holding up a little bit on ticket sales because of the construction going on at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
See placement.
Exactly.
Seats.
And so a lot of Showboat news coming out today, but next spring, when we're out watching Showboat football, it will be the 3rd head coach in its 3rd year as a team. I mean, that's interesting for sure.
We don't play for second.
No,
we don't bluff. My top story, we need to pick up the pace a little bit in the NFL preseason games. Those 2 games last night were planned snoozers. My theory of we're going to drive the people into begging.
Yeah.
Please give us 18 games and get rid of one of these games. Those 2 games last night were quite literally, in my best J.J. Redick voice, That was Plumbers and Lutons at quarterbacks.
I love it. Yes, it was.
That,
it literally
was the last
yes.
name. It was Plumbers and Lutons at quarterback. It's going to be. It was going to be bad from the beginning. You knew that. And if you're a lot smarter than me, if you could really take anything out of Drake May's play last night,
yeah,
I'll give you credit. You
sure.
You know more than I do.
Yeah, I mean, tell me takeaways from many of the guys we saw last night. I mean, you didn't get to see many of them for very long, especially those quarterbacks.
I was at a place, and a nice lady and her husband were sitting by me, and she said to her husband, she said, "This is really atrocious football."
She knows ball.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And I hate to button anybody's conversation, but I said, you got that right.
Yeah, it was definitely not a night for offenses last night in the first games of preseason week 1. But I'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at what the Christmas Day slate will look like in the NBA. 5 games. We'll talk about them next on Sports Time.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
Jason's Deli. When you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway and the Park Place Center, Upper Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
There's only like 2 days the whole year without a game. That's it. That makes just about every day game day at DraftKings Sportsbook. Super easy to get started. Try betting on something simple, like picking a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook's app. Select your team. Place your first bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, 90 seconds, and use the code HERD, H-E-R-D. That's code HERD for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. See terms and responsible gaming resources at dkng.co/baseball.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Ken Garland, you are in your 72nd year of business. Your son William is now joining you. What do you think is the key to your longevity in the building business?
My dad started the business in 1965, and I think being on the job sites daily and being accessible to homeowners has been a key to our success.
You guys have a work ethic, as you like to say. You're not hiring people to be on the site. You guys are there every day.
We interact with the subcontractors multiple times a day on each job site. I think that has been a key, as well as using the same subcontractors 20 plus years in most cases.
When you talk about materials, what is the first thing you're thinking about when somebody comes to you to build a home?
We're just trying to meet the expectations of the client and the homeowner and the architect and give them what their dream is.
When you get a Ken Garland home, what do you guarantee?
We'll be there after the job is finished. We're still accessible to all our clients.
Now I need to know, how do I get a hold of Ken Garland?
You can reach us at kengarland.com.
The best golfers on the PGA Tour are coming to Memphis to kick off the FedEx Cup playoffs at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM will be broadcasting live at TPC Southwind throughout the day, Wednesday through Friday of tournament week, keeping you up to date with the latest tournament news. Our coverage from TPC Southwind and Sports 56 and 98.5 FM is brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Also sponsored by Sissy's Log Cabin, First National Bank, Ronnie Grisani's, Banyan Tree Realtors, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, and South Haven Supply. Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is an ACUSA church located in town Memphis. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stat Sportsworthy and Brian Davis.
Well, last night, Shams Charania dropped a Shams bomb. I don't think it works. It's only a Woj bomb. I don't know what we call Shams updates. Something. I don't know.
I don't either. We
got to name it something. A Shams missile.
It can't be bomb. It doesn't roll.
Exactly. I'll work on it. That will be my assignment this weekend. Is I'll work on naming Shams.
I think you're busy enough. I want you to do nothing.
And what
this
he's
weekend.
doing, yes. I would also like that. Well, last night he reported the NBA Christmas Day slate for this upcoming season. Here is what it's going to look like, and from what I understand, this is the order that the games will be played during the day. So we'll start off with Spurs at Knicks, then Timberwolves at Mavericks, 76ers at Celtics, Lakers at Warriors, and then we will end the night with Nuggets at Suns.
I'm going to guess, give or take, come on, people give me a break here, plus or minus
Sure.
40 minutes. I'm going to guess Spurs Knicks around 11:30 our time.
Yeah, that's usually around when it is, I believe, yeah.
Minnesota Dallas about 2.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little overlap with a different carrier.
Sure.
76ers in Boston about 3:30.
Yeah.
Lakers Golden State 6:30 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Denver Phoenix 9:30.
9:30, yeah.
I love these games.
Oh, yeah.
There's out of 10 teams, 7 are in the West. No shocker there.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the heart and soul. It is the, and I say that the Celtics are the champions.
Yeah.
But the West is where the action.
Absolutely.
Where the action, where it is always is in the NBA. 7 out of 10 from the West. I can't really make a case that somebody was robbed. I sure can't make the case that the Grizzlies were robbed not being in it. Maybe Oklahoma City in that Spurs spot.
Yeah.
But we also know on that day the global appeal that we see playing out over the last few weeks in Paris and with the popularity of and what he's going to be in Victor Wembanyama, you can understand that move.
Absolutely.
It's almost like the NBA's forgotten about us a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's forgotten instead of still punishing, because I think John Morant paid a very serious price.
Sure.
I think this team, this franchise, the fans, it includes us. I think we had to pay.
Yeah.
This year, with a big year for the Grizzlies, 3, 4, 5 seed, make a little noise in the playoffs, win a series, win 2 for sure. We're back. Back on Christmas Day next year, and out of the penalty box. But I hope there's not a penalty box. Now, you can't make a case that the Grizzlies needed to be on Christmas Day this year, can you?
No. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's probably more the forgotten about. I mean, when you look at these teams, they're the teams that make sense. And I think the least surprise about looking at this list is that the Spurs are in there. When you have Victor Wembanyama and the global sensation taking over the NBA last year, you knew he was going to be in there. The Knicks.
And Mr. Scrooge on Christmas Day and Pop.
Exactly, yes. So they'll play those roles very well on Christmas Day. Brett, we've talked about the Knicks a lot this offseason with the moves they made. Some people think they're making moves for a finals run, so it doesn't surprise me they're in there. The Timberwolves, of course they think they are. The Timberwolves with
not going to the finals.
No. But then you got the Timberwolves that have young Anthony Edwards and that really good team. Mavericks had that run, and they've got those stars on that team. 76ers, we know what they added in the offseason, that star-led team. Celtics, the defending champs. Lakers have LeBron. Warriors have Steph. And then, Nuggets has the MVP, and then the Suns with their three-headed monster that we're still trying to, wait to see what they'll become. So, yes, I think this slate makes a whole lot of sense. But you're right. Grizzlies have a solid season. They turn back into that fun team, high-flying team, energy team that is really fun to watch. They get anywhere between 1 and 6 in the West at the end of the season, then I think we're definitely talking about another Christmas Day game next year.
I'm glad you extended it out from mine. I think let me narrow mine down. I think 1 to 4 home games.
Sure, yeah.
I would hope home game. 5, 6, 7 and up, probably in the visitors' role again, like they were a few Christmases ago, having to go out to Golden State and play in that last game of the day.
Because it really is incredible how easily the Grizzlies were forgotten about, and sometimes I even kind of forget about it. I remember having DeMichael Cole on 2 years ago when he's saying, I'm up in Chicago for this game between the Grizzlies and the Bulls, and a third of the place is people with John Morant jerseys. Half the place has John Morant jerseys and is oohing and ahhing at all of his dunks and assists and everything. John Morant is one of those players that can take over the league, and we've already seen him start doing that. Had his setback last year. If he comes back, stays healthy, does what John Morant does, then they're definitely in the mix next year.
Brian, I missed badly, and it was not fandom speaking. Now, I am unabashedly. I am, and that's not changing. That doesn't mean I can't be critical and I can't be fair and pointed when I have to be. But I waited forever for the major leagues to get to Memphis. You dang right I'm going to be a fan. And I'm a fan of the Tigers. I'm a fan of the area teams. And that's not changing either. It's not changing either that when criticism time comes, I hope I do it in an even-handed, fair manner. I would have thought the Grizzlies have already been to the NBA Finals by now with Ja.
Yeah, absolutely.
Won 1 series. So we got to reboot.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I think, there's been that talk of, and I think we were talking to Greg about it, and I think Greg said he put it on his Twitter page of, who's it most important for this season, and had Taylor Jenkins.
I hated asking Greg that, but I swear I got the idea. The seed was planted from his own Twitter.
Definitely, and so
and he didn't mind. I texted him afterwards. I said, Greg, I'm sorry for doing it. He said, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, Greg. No Greg's a professional.
He is. He's a big boy.
So I think definitely. I mean, when you look at the Grizzlies, and I think this is an important season. Obviously, as long as everybody stays healthy and pretty much, everything goes right, I mean, you should be attempting to make a deep run. Now, the West has gotten a lot tougher. It's always tough.
When does it not?
That's the beautiful
question.
question.
I don't remember an easy West year.
I don't either.
I mean, when the Grizzlies came in, that was Kobe and Shaq.
That's right. Yeah. So
and maybe the first big Grizzlies win at the Pyramid was around Christmas time, beating those Lakers.
Really?
And it was unbelievable. It was so bad. And got that win and the building rocked. And you saw that, we can do this. All right, so that's the NBA Christmas slate. I got a curveball I'm going to throw at you. Here's the NFL Christmas
here we go.
games.
I saw that coming.
And unlike the NBA, that's all on normal over-the-air TV, that'd be ABC, ESPN, TNT. That type. Well, no, that's next year for NBC.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to easily
Very easily
find the NBA games that day from 11 o'clock to 11 at night. 12 hours of NBA games you can find easily. 2 NFL games that day on Wednesday, December 25th, Christmas Day, 2024. Noon, Kansas City at Pittsburgh. That's box office. That's all you want right there, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Baltimore at Houston at 3:30. Both games on Netflix.
How about that? Yes.
Can the NBA ride rough on normal TV?
And that's going to be a big question and really interesting to look at because, I mean, both those games, Chiefs, we assume are going to be doing Chief things around that time. Steelers, who knows what they're doing at that time and who's starting at quarterback at that time. And then 3:30, you've got Ravens, who I think a lot of people think could have a run in them this year. And the Texans, what they did last year. I mean, these are 4 teams that a lot of people want to see play. And
Brian, I just decided.
Okay.
Every year, and I think people, in my situation's easy because I'm not married and I don't have children,
Sure.
so it's easy to do. And I know if you got little ones around, but I try to give a good Christmas present to me every year.
Okay.
I like to do.
I love that.
I like to do
It's
that.
great. You got to treat yourself.
One year I bought a damn $600 overcoat. And every time I put it on, boy, that was stupid. I wish I had that cash back. This year, my Christmas present to me, I'm calling it right now.
Okay.
Fancy TV with all the gizmos for the Netflix.
Wow, I love it. So you can watch the Netflix games.
I can't miss those games.
Oh, games are too
channel
good.
checking on Christmas.
Those games are too good. Those are gonna be incredible. We already have lines for those games. How about that?
We do.
We do. Kansas City 5.5 point favorite over the Steelers
for my Christmas Day 5-team parlay.
Yes, and then Baltimore 2-point favorite over the Texans. So,
give me the Texans right now at home.
I love it.
Plus
I
the
love
2.
it. Let's take them.
Can I have that on our picks?
Let's do it. Yes. When we get to December, hey, you remember back on August 9th when I said let's take Texans plus 2? No, I don't think that's how our Friday picks work. Which we'll be there.
Well, when will we pick those games? Friday football forecast on Tuesday afternoon.
Holy cow! I guess we'll have to figure something out. And how about this, Brett? Both those games, like you mentioned, on Christmas, Netflix. Day after Christmas, Amazon Prime game, Thursday night. So you got Netflix and then Prime.
Here's when we do them. We'll do them that previous Friday.
Yeah, and
roll them over.
We'll just have to wait for both of those games. But it will be weird having 2 Wednesday games on Christmas. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some Major League Baseball.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsofMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quicky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
See website for details. This happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came in all maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent's due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Bills Happen's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news. I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, a legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Sportsworthy and Brian Gates.
Well, we have one final already in Major League Baseball. The Twins with a 4-2 win over the Guardians. That game started about 1 o'clock this afternoon, part of a doubleheader, an interesting doubleheader for them because the first game was on regular regional television. The second game that will start later tonight, about 7 o'clock our time, will be on Apple TV+. So a lot of those fans very easily can watch game one of the doubleheader. Game two, a little bit tougher, being part of the Friday night. You absolutely do.
Like my Christmas commitment.
Yes, and we can get you hooked up on Netflix. We can surely get you hooked up on Apple TV+. The other Apple TV Plus game tonight, Reds and Brewers, should be an interesting one. One game postponed today, Rangers and Yankees. Boy, it has been raining in New York this week. A couple days ago, Yankees and Angels had to postpone a game.
Go away, Hurricane
Last
Debbie.
night, it was raining in both those preseason football games, and now today, Rangers and Yankees being postponed. But a really good slate this weekend for Major League Baseball.
It sure is, and it started with that first game of the doubleheader in Minneapolis today, and it was 4-2 the Twins. I said the other day, I thought a player that is not known now that could get known with a good postseason is the DH for the Twins, Royce Lewis. Yeah. Here's another one for them. And here's the Twins' problem. They're not going to get known until they make a lot of noise in the playoffs.
Yes.
Kind of like Baltimore a little bit did last year, and Texas sure did. But that winning pitcher today for the Twins, Bailey Ober, his stuff is dynamite. That got him to 12-5 today for the season, and I wouldn't think many people know about Bailey Ober.
Yeah, no, I don't think Mr. Casual Baseball fan probably knows much about Bailey Ober.
That will tune in at the playoffs.
Sure, definitely will. And so he's going to be a force. And so, I mean, you look at the Twins right now, 64-50, but you mentioned it early, Brett.
2 out in all-important loss column.
Yeah, and maybe might be the quietest 60-win team in Major League Baseball. It just does not feel like anybody's talking about what they're doing, and now right behind the Guardians and could get more depending on how the rest of the series goes.
I promise. I am not. I'm sure not doing it intentionally. If I am to anyone, I apologize profusely up front. But hardcore baseball people don't know Royce Lewis, Bailey Ober, and Rocco Baldelli as manager of the Twins.
No. A lot of people missing out on those guys, but they've been great, and this team's been fun to watch. And so, I really hope that they are able to make this a competitive race like they're starting to do, and we can see a real battle between them, because I think watching Guardians and Twins down the stretch trying to fight for that division, that'd be great. That'd be so much fun to watch.
And whatever bracket it is, the Twins want to be opposite of the Yankees because they always get knocked out by them. But right now, the Twins would be the second wild card team, fifth seed.
That's right. Yeah, so they're right there playing really, really well. Brett, and I don't think I have paid close enough attention to what they've been doing or what he's been doing. Have you noticed what Vladimir Guerrero Jr., how good he has been over this 20-game hit streak?
And I think out there with the right deal. Now, they said afterwards that it was no way they were ever dealing him. Oh, there was a way.
There definitely was.
You decorate the Christmas tree enough. There was a way to get him, and he is having another great year. His contract, how much more on it with the Blue Jays?
Question. I really don't know. I'll have to look that up.
Because if they don't lock him up, he's going to ring the bell.
Let's see if I could type.
But Toronto's not very good, but he is.
This is, I believe, the last year of his deal.
And that was a little bit of the decorating the tree issue.
Of course. It looks like maybe he has one more year.
But still, same thing, because you want something long term.
Of course.
If you were going to, what they were going to give up to get him, and nobody made a good enough deal.
No.
So they stayed with him, and they can be a team that's really spoiler down the stretch.
Oh, definitely could. With what he's doing last night, 3 for 4 was a single shy of the cycle. Had a home run, had a triple, had a double. Incredible. He's batting .507.
Just
during
needed
this
a little duck
20-game
snort to fall to get the cycle.
Just get something to find some grass and get to first base, and he would have had the cycle. So he's been fun to watch. And you're right, this Blue Jays team has not played well this year. I don't think has met anybody's expectations. But if he's playing like that, if you can get a couple other guys clicking, they could be a team that one of these teams up in the AL wild card sees late in the season and says, oh, man, we got to be on our A game this weekend, or this could really dent us up and put us in a tough position to make the wild card.
Besides the Mayor's Cup, are the Cubs and White Sox, do they play for anything?
That's a good question. We got a trophy
this weekend?
Connor?
We got a trophy,
We learned earlier this week the Astros and the Silver Boot, the Rangers and the Astros, they play for a big old boot trophy.
It screamed Texas, too, didn't it?
It sure did. Do they play for anything, the White Sox and the Cubs? Yeah, but your mic's not on. You got. There you go. Yeah, how about that?
We played for the city.
There you go.
The city. Yeah, please.
Are we going to break out City Connect all weekend?
Got to, right? Yeah,
is that a rule?
I think so. Actually,
all weekend on the south side at Guaranteed Rate Field.
I saw somebody earlier saying to bet the team total over for the White Sox tonight. So I think it's 3.5. So
also first 5 with Garrett Crochet.
Oh, Garrett Crochet on the mound. Very good point, Connor.
It's a good pitching matchup tonight.
It's good versus Crochet. It sure is. So that's going to be a fun game up in Chicago tonight. But we need to go ahead and wrap up this hour. And when we come back to start our 4 o'clock hour, Bruce Marshall, he'll join us from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. That's next on Sports Time.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Collierville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, Give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
Don't be surprised this week to see other jewelry store owners shopping at Genesis Diamonds. They'll be taking advantage of Genesis' most aggressive offer ever. All GIA diamond engagement rings marked down an extra 20% below Genesis everyday price.
That's right, the vault is open, and we're selling the finest handcrafted diamond rings at rock bottom prices now for a very limited time.
The GIA is the world standard in diamond values, offering accuracy and documented quality, so you can buy no complaints.
Every Genesis engagement ring is included in this event, carrying up to 20 karat stones.
Ships, cards, and bonds are execution cuts, memberships, and bonds. Prices Genesis and strong value price on a GIA.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns, to turnovers, and overturned plays.
After review, pass is incomplete.
Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday tickets from YouTube and YouTube TV, and a new phone. Experience digital only games. Terms and quotas apply.
Hi, it's Colin. I just discovered J-Lab headphones, and I am totally hooked. J-Lab imagines and delivers personal tech, headphones, earbuds, and office accessories that consumers want. Try the J-Buds Luxe over-ear headphones for noise-canceling travel. Discover your perfect pair of headphones. Look for the J-Lab Blue Box at Target, Walmart, Best Buy, and more. Or visit jlab.com.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianelderroofing.com.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Still trying to finish up this wreck over here. Everybody's staring as they drive by. 240 East at Mill Branch. There's a truck that's looks like it's jackknifed over here on 40 eastbound just past Sam Cooper. It's affecting that traffic also on 240 eastbound just past Walnut Grove. They're trying to get up to Sam Cooper. Again, this one's got it slow over here on 40 East. Again, just past Sam Cooper and that flyover. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub. Curbless shower conversion. HavenlyShowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Joining the guys every Friday is college football historian and Vegas legend Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insiders, CBS Sports, and his own website, FanSports.net, with over 30 years on Memphis
Bruce Marshall joins us from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. He joins us now. Bruce, I've heard that you may or may not be in Seattle and may or may not be seeing some Mariners baseball this weekend. Is this true?
It's all true, though I saw the Mariners last night.
Oh, good game.
Good. I'm heading back home tonight. Why I was up here, I took my wife and her friend to get on the cruise to go to Alaska, so I just came here for a day and I left them, and they're cruising. But I'm at Boeing Field right now, and this is the Museum of Flight here, and I'm standing right next to the very first jet, Air Force One, and the very first 727, and the prototype 747. It's a marvelous museum. I think next to Udvar Hazy at Dulles Airport, which is the part of the Smithsonian, which is the greatest museum I've ever seen in my life. This is a close second. It is really good.
Wow, that is great stuff. Bruce, who was the president that was first on Air Force One? I'm embarrassed. I don't know.
Well, the jet one came in 59, so it was Eisenhower, and that was the first 707, and that's the one they've actually got here. They had, by 1962, they had another 707, and then another, in 62, then in 72, another one. Now they fly 747s as the Air Force Ones. But this one is the one actually that Eisenhower used and Kennedy used for a little bit. And then when Kennedy was in president, they brought a new Air Force One in. But this is the first jet Air Force Ones. They have pictures of the other Air Force Ones, including DC-6s and Lockheed Constellations, which were Air Force Ones before they were jets. But Eisenhower was the first one to flew a jet.
What's the neatest thing on it?
The neatest thing in here, I think this Air Force One is pretty neat. I mean, it is really something. They also have a collection of military aircraft too. Not as much as they have at Udvar Hazy by Dulles Airport, though. That tops everything. Plus, they have a real space shuttle there. They just have sort of a mock-up one of on here. But it's very, very good, and it's being here at Boeing. There's a lot of Boeing history at this museum, which is actually sort of outdoor. You got a big canopy over which they could put these big jets and put them on display.
Can you get the Mariners' bats awakened? They've been silent really all year. If they could hit, they would be right there.
I don't know. I mean, last night they took it right to the end. Nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, Rayleigh got an excuse me check swing single, swinging down the third base line, hit the bag. Rosarena got a hit, walk, but two were out. Then and down 3-1, and 2 strikes on Mitch Haniger, and hit that slicing fly ball into right center, and it got past Velarde and went all the way to the wall, and that was it. They won the game, but to that point, nothing was happening, and this offense has got some real issues right now. But the pitching is great. They run a quality pitcher out there every night, and you can see why a lot of other teams in the American League don't want the Mariners to make the playoffs in a short series. They could be tough with that staff, and then if somebody gets hot, Rosarena, they just got him, and his defense is really good in the outfield too. Justin Turner just came in trade as well, and he's had a couple of big hits since he came over, but they need a little bit more consistency there. Julio has been out. So if they do this, they're going to have to do it mostly with pitching because this hitting is just not coming around.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about this Twins team. They're 64-50, creeping up right behind the Guardians. That's who they have in this weekend series. They got the win in a doubleheader today, 4-2. They'll play again later tonight about 7 o'clock. What do you make of this Twins team? It feels like a really good team that nobody's really talking about.
Yeah, I mean, they're hanging around there. And they've gotten better pitching than we thought, and I think they've got a real shot to get in there. Chasing Cleveland, I think Cleveland is obviously still the team to beat in the Central. The Twins have taken advantage of the White Sox like everybody else has. They are fighting with Kansas City there to get in. I think the way the East is looking, I mean, there's a chance you could get 2 wild cards in from the Central. They're not going to get any from the West, and there are 3 teams and maybe 4 if you count Tampa Bay in the mix in the East. So from that bunch is going to come the 3 wild cards, and it could be 2 from the Central. We'll see. Kansas City has also been one that's kind of impressive to me as well. But they have really taken advantage of the White Sox. That's the other thing. I mean, Kansas City is now done with the White Sox for the rest of the year. I think the Twins still have some series coming up against them, and that's really going to, as bad as Chicago has been, the Chi Sox are going to have something to say about this, because these teams, if you can beat up the White Sox, it helps. They all count. Every game, they don't count one less beating the White Sox than if you're beating the Yankees. So you can beat the White Sox every game out. That's good.
Bruce, I was ready to crown Philadelphia. They're still playing .600 baseball, but it doesn't feel like the same momentum that they had. It's been stalled, and we know the Bryce Harper slump he's been in, and the bats have gone quiet team for the whole team. Right now, who do you think is the team that's kind of the front runner?
Well, right now I think the best team in the National League right now is San Diego. They have sustained this push since the All-Star break. They're now 14 on a 14-2 run. Every one of their pitchers has stepped up here, and the bats have started to come alive. And they have pulled within 2.5 of the Dodgers now in the NL West. I mean, they have, and they don't fear the Dodgers anymore after beating them in the playoffs 2 years ago. And neither does Arizona fear the Dodgers either, and they're just a game behind San Diego. So they're bearing down on the Dodgers. Right now, I think San Diego is the best team in the National League, not all of baseball. And I think that's the team I think they're all scared about in the National League. When these guys start to hit it once and they're getting really good pitching, and they made some nice moves to the deadline, especially for their bullpen, which is very deep right now. They look like the best team in the National League to me right now.
Yeah.
Our guest is Bruce Marshall on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, Vegas insider, and with us every single Friday talking every sport. Bruce, I wouldn't do this to anybody but to Steve Kerr. It's win gold or bust for him at the Olympics. It's not that for Dave Roberts and the Dodgers, but what is it? Is it NLCS, or could he potentially, in a shake-it-up move, be out if he didn't get to the NLCS? I won't say win it all for him.
I think it's possible, especially, they've won out at the first hurdle the last 2 years. I mean, it was San Diego 2 years ago, and last year, embarrassingly so, against Arizona right off the bat. I mean, the Dodgers got a bye both times, and then they, in the first round there, and then they went out quick. I think they have got to, they may have to get to the World Series to save his job. I think that sounds harsh because he's won a lot there, but the roster's been pretty loaded. But they've got the pitching concerns. I mean, Kershaw has come back and he hasn't looked all that good. They've got injury problems all year in the rotation. Mookie's been hurt. He's going to come back soon, but Freddie had to miss some time recently tending to his son. They look vulnerable, and I do think Dave Roberts, he at least has to win a playoff series and maybe get all the way to the NLCS. But anything short of that, he's going to be in some trouble, especially if he goes out at the first hurdle like the last 2 years. If that's the case, I don't think he's coming back next year.
Wow. Yeah, Bruce, we talked a lot yesterday about the United States game against Serbia in the semifinals in Paris. We were on live while the game was going on. I was stressing. Brett did not have much worries about what was happening. He felt pretty good that the United States were going to be able to come back and win. What did you make of yesterday's performance by Team USA, and what do you expect to see in tomorrow's gold medal match?
I think they'll win. It may not be easy because, France has been playing at a little slower pace. They're trying to get Wemby involved offensively and get him going. Wemby has not put up great offensive numbers the last couple of games. A few of those other guys have. And Rudy Gobert, right now, he's got that finger problem. He's hardly playing right now. So they could certainly use him against the Americans. But pace a little bit slower. I mean, obviously, we know how good this USA team is and can be, but they have not covered every game in Paris. They've had, and in Lille before that. They've had a couple of games where they didn't cover the point spread. But I think what happened yesterday just in case they get in trouble, there are so many different guys who can come out and deliver. Yesterday it was Steph, and Steph saved them from playing in the bronze medal game. But, in other games we've seen Durant step up, we've seen LeBron step up, we've seen Joel Embiid step up. So they've got so many different guys. I maintain this is not that easy a job for Steve Kerr to figure out who to play. I mean, there have been some games he hasn't played. Jason Tatum didn't play in a game, and he's had, I think, Embiid out too. So it's not as easy, and you're sort of asking these guys to play some roles that they rarely wouldn't play for their teams where they're such stars. So it's not as easy as it seems, and some of these other teams have a bit more continuity. They don't match the star power, but that's why I think USA may not blow out France. And this is a rematch of the gold medal in Tokyo, which was in 21, actually, and it was not an easy game, and France actually beat U.S. in the first round 3 years ago. A bit different France, better American team this year, I think. But I expect the U.S. to win by about 8-12 and not get over the total, which is about 180. I think it's an under.
Bruce, help me if I'm wrong on this, but I think tomorrow, if the United States lost, would only be the second time ever the United States has been the silver medalist. 1972, famously in that game. Is that accurate?
Yeah, because when they lost in, I want to say it was Athens, they were bronze that year. So
bronze in Seoul in '88 with the college players.
Yeah, yes, right, and that's right in '88 as well. So, I mean, they've been. I'm trying to think they were silver in '88. I think they were. Yeah, so they were bronze in Athens, I think. So yeah, it would be. I don't expect them. I don't expect them to lose. I think they will win the gold. It's just it will be. I don't expect it to be a romp because France has been pretty resourceful, and they had lost kind of handily to Germany in the group phase there, and they came back and beat them. And Germany was kind of fancied to get in the final here, so France may not go quietly.
Was it the biggest robbery in sports history in '72 to not only to replay the final seconds once, not twice, but 3 times until the Soviet Union finally could get bailed out? And there were a lot of allegations of the referees being bribed.
Well, maybe. I mean, if you look back, I mean, they shouldn't have. It should have ended the first time. The first, time when the game should have ended. The second one, the buzzer went off like immediately too soon. So the referee sort of, had to do something in the second one. Then the third one happened there. That still shouldn't have happened. People forget, though, that game, the Soviets were ahead of the Americans the whole way in that game. And they looked like they were going to, in hand. They had that game to a big rally, and Doug Collins made those couple free throws at the end to get USA a 1-point lead before the final sequence there. But I mean that one still sticks. And remember, Brett, you may remember this. Right after that, it would have been the next spring because that was back in the days of college players, and a lot of them did not play in the Olympics for a variety of reasons, including Bill Walton in '72. But in the spring of '73, he and a select group of college all-stars, plus a few AAU players, faced the Soviets in a 6-game tour in the States. Walton, I think, only played in the first 2 games, and the Americans won 4 of the 6. But that created this other tournament. It was in an era when you also had the Summit Series in hockey in the USSR and Canada, which this came a few months after that, and then this basketball thing in the wake of the Olympics. So, I mean, the Soviets actually sent their team over for a 6-game tour in the States about March, April of '73, and which got a lot of hype back then, and that was sort of a new thing that the Olympics could cause that.
I did not recall that. I remember a little about the game in '72, and that Olympics, infamously for the Israeli athletes being killed, and also the exploits of Mark Spitz. I remembered a lot about it, but that game. Did they refuse? I know they refused silver medal. Did they refuse even to be on the silver medal stand? Did they boycott that?
Yes, I believe so. and the silver medals are still sitting in a bank vault in Munich somewhere, unclaimed. So,
nobody will take one.
Wow.
Nobody wants to take one. So you wonder. I mean, some collectors would love to get their hands on that, I'm sure, on those. But apparently they're still sitting there. I talked to Ed Ratliff was on that team, and I had mentioned, is he was actually one of the better players in 72. But you look back, though, at that team in 72, and actually in 68 as well. I mean, that did not look like a real college all-star team that they had both of those years. And the selection process was a little bit different, and they had to take some AAU players and things like that. But it was a different deal. It's not the dream team. That was far from it.
Far from,
especially 68 and 72. They won in 68. Spencer Haywood emerged in 72, though. We remember what happened.
And Greg Popovich was one of the last cuts in 72. And an NBA person told me one time the reason why he's so cantankerous is he's still mad over being the last cut in 72 on the Olympic team.
Yeah, that's right. And if you remember, I mean, Sven Nader made the team, Walton's backup, but got upset at Hank Iba for some ridiculous things in training, and partly to do with not feeding Nader enough, and he up and left. So, but Sven Nader actually was on the original team in 72, but left during training camp.
Yeah. Bruce, before we let you go, I want to get your thoughts on a win total in college football. There's been a lot of talk about this Colorado team pretty much all off season. I saw earlier today Deion wouldn't take a question from a guy from CBS Sports because he said, you work for CBS. I'm not taking questions from you. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on Deion, a lot of eyes on this team. Obviously, Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders come back. Their win total is sitting at 5.5 right now is what I just saw it at. A lot of people think this team can get bowl eligible and win 6 games. What do you think about that 5.5?
I think they can probably get over that, although this is a lot of portal movement they've had as well the second year. Not quite as much as last year when they basically cleared out the whole roster from that previous season. And last year, I mean, Deion, we had that quick start, and then the Pac-12 became a very tough slog, although there were a few games and there were, Colorado had a chance and they just didn't win. But he had some outflow this season, and I maintain it is very, very tough to build your team through the portal and get a new team in there every year. I mean, that is a tough way to go. And so I think if they get over 5.5, they'll probably just barely get over 5.5 because of the depth, even with the portal ads last year. You could tell the second half of the season Colorado was having some trouble, especially on the defensive side there. If Shedeur gets hurt, and Shedeur is good, and he's a first-round draft pick for sure, or Travis Hunter, and Hunter did get hurt for a little bit last year.
Yeah.
That's a negative for Colorado, so I think they'll probably clear that, but not much. But Deion will continue to generate headlines because that's what he's good at.
Of course. Is there anything you like tonight in Major League Baseball?
Let's ride these Padres again. We got a price about 140 down in Miami, which hasn't been playing all that badly lately. But the Padres, let's just keep riding them, as long as we can. So I would go with San Diego tonight. White Sox did finally get a win the other night, but then they proceeded to lose the next game. So it was 3-2. It was actually a moral win for them. It was only 3-2, but they get the Cubs. Crochet is only pitching about 3 to 4 innings now. They have lost his last 8 starts. Ty on the other way has not pitched too badly for the Cubs. So I would probably go with the Cubs there. And I think I'd go with the Giants tonight, too. Robbie Ray has looked pretty good in 2 of his 3 starts. I saw the Tigers last night. I think A.J. Hinch might do another bullpen game. That is a very nondescript roster the Tigers have right now. There's a lot of guys who they've just brought up, and crushing loss last night. The Giants are also playing better, too. They're not out of this thing yet, so I would give the Giants a look on the run line. Little plus price there with Robbie Ray tonight.
Is there anything you like tonight or into this weekend in NFL preseason?
2 tonight. I'm going to give Baltimore one more chance, although they did not cover a spread in 3 preseasons last year. But John Harbaugh's record before that, he'd gone like 6 years without a spread, and they hadn't lost a game outright since 2015, I think, in the preseason. They lost a couple of close ones last year. They get the Eagles tonight, short price. Probably won't see Lamar. Well, Josh Johnson's going to have to play a good deal tonight. They still might be looking for another backup quarterback there in August, but this is just because Harbaugh is so good and has been so good. The other one has been really good in preseason has been Mike Tomlin. The Steelers have won 6 straight openers. They're 18-4 their last 22 in preseason. Fields plays tonight. They play Houston, which has a game under its belt, and we will see C.J. Stroud for a little bit tonight. Though I think D'Amico is going to probably play his first stringers a little bit more next week. But I would stick with this Tomlin trend. He's also won 6 straight and 8 of 9 overall the last 3 years in August. So Pittsburgh plus a short price tonight.
I like it. Bruce, where can we find more of you?
Yeah, check me out online at VegasInsider.com. Also at CBS Sportsline, Sportsline.com. Also some college previews put in there, and I just wrote up the Olympic final too. And the new one called winnersandwhiners.com. That's WHINERS.com. And that one, we've got baseball and preseason football for this weekend.
Awesome, Bruce. Well, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Friday.
Okay, Brian. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce Marshall, with us every Friday. That was good stuff, and he likes some NFL action night. Do you realize that two of these 3 games tonight starts in about an hour and a half?
Yeah, we're getting close, Brett. Both 6 o'clock and then a 6:30. So a lot of early starts in preseason action.
Both games last night, easy unders.
Oh, yeah. Easy. You did not have to sweat either of those unders. And really, if you I had the Giants minus 3.5 and New England minus 6. And, I mean, neither of those you really had to sweat too much about those. Those were both pretty easy. So
gaming is easy.
Well, we'll see tonight.
Connor says yes. Gaming's easy in it, Connor.
That's right.
Sure looked easy when you got that green check pop up.
Right.
No matter what new Chevy or pre-owned car you're looking for, our friends at All Star Chevrolet, I promise you, they have it on the lot or in the showroom down in Olive Branch. You're on Highway 78. You cross into Mississippi, first exit, Kraft Goodman Road, and you're at the home of the good people at All Star Chevrolet for the end of summer sale. Together, let's drive what we really want to drive. Pick out 2 or 3 to test drive and have it. If you can't find it at All Star, you can't find it anywhere. You can drive down there and see all the new Silverados marked down as much as 12%, and they can save you thousands. Every Tahoe you could imagine for road trips and tailgating, they have it. Law enforcement, first responders, healthcare workers, college students, college grads, military, all instantly get an extra $500 bonus back. All the pre-owned Ram trucks and Silverados, a Hyundai, Audi, 4Runner, Broncos, they have them, and a sweet Corvette Stingray if that's what you're looking for. Best week to get the most money on any vehicle you want to sell. Bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get a big check today or all weekend long. Head to All-Star. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, there's a lot of college football news going on right now. As Brett said, we're tomorrow 2 weeks away from college football, so let's get to a break. And when we come back, we'll talk about all the news and notes out of the world of college football.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I I planned to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Ma belle est amusante et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call, hit Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, this is James Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home, with Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of food.
Corky's Barbecue.
Hi, this is James Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home, with Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of food.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Still trying to clean up this crash over here on 40 eastbound, just past Sam Cooper. It's affecting that traffic also on 240 eastbound. Right when you come past Walnut Grove, headed up towards Sam Cooper, that's just crawling along over there on that side of town. Again, it would look like a truck that jackknifed there on 40 East, just past that flyover there, which is just up from Sam Cooper. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub. Curbless shower conversion. HavenlyShowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Days from today, we will have college football. It is a good feeling, which means a lot of reports from practices, a lot of press conferences, a lot of the build-up. And Brett, two press conference-related stories today that I wanted to talk about. The first one, there was a story on ESPN this afternoon, and I don't know if you saw this. Rodney Hill, running back now at Arkansas, was at Florida State. He was the listed third running back on the depth chart in most of last season, was also part of the special teams unit down at Florida State. He was talking to the media today, I believe, and said that he blamed a bad agent for the circumstances that got him into the transfer portal to Arkansas, which immediately caught my attention. Bad agent, what are you talking about? He says that his parents hired an agent who then texted coaches from other programs acting like Rodney Hill, claiming to be Rodney Hill to these other coaches. And when it got back to, this was a quote from Rodney Hill today, when it got back to the head coach, I had to leave Florida State. So supposedly an agent going out and saying, hey, this Rodney from down at Florida State, y'all got a spot for me next year? And obviously, Florida State coaching staff does not like that. And
Hit the door.
Yes, and you got to go. That is a crazy story about an agent in this new world of agents and NIL and transfer portal with college football.
Brian, it is, and it's only going to be more and more of those. And I'm sorry for that happened to Rodney Hill. It sounds like he really wanted to stay at FSU, and I don't blame Mike Norvell a bit. If you go into the portal, you need to keep going.
That's right. And if we find out that which is, I'm sure what it got back to the coaches, I'm sure the report originally, because nobody knew it was his agent doing that, it's probably like, hey, your running back is texting other coaches, asking about spots before he's in the transfer portal.
And I would tell Rodney Hill and his parents and other players out there like that, that's why you better find somebody really scrupulous that really knows what they're doing, because you wanted these the good of the adult world being paid and being able to have player liberation and freedom. Well, the downside of it is sometimes there's some bad actors out there.
Oh, yeah.
And you got burned.
Yes, and so you've got to be able to trust whatever agent you hire. And
the best lessons often leave the biggest scar.
Sure. And Brett, you're right. You talked about it. I mean, we wanted this new age of these guys being adults, and part of that is if a decision goes wrong, if you hire the wrong guy, I mean, tough luck.
That act adult.
It is what it is. And so that was just a wild story today out of Arkansas.
Fundamentally, if you were a coach, would you be really, really, really rigid with you hit the portal, you can keep going, or would you, okay, you can hit the portal, you can think about it, but I have to have a decision because I got to have a roster.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know.
And there are people that take players back.
Sure, and I'm sure a lot of it, if we're being honest, would be a player-by-player analysis. If this is a guy that I really think can help my team and he wants to come back, absolutely, I'm taking you back. Maybe, if it's somebody that, is not going to be a fundamental part of my team, probably different. But I think the biggest part of this story, this particular instance, was it was before he even entered the transfer portal. And so, they thought, hey, you're good, you're still on this team, and then hear that, his name's coming up as texting other coaches. In that situation, yeah, you're gone. Bye. You can't have that in my program.
I think you do realize it, and everybody should. There's a lot of conversation in this area, and most of it's out of a lot of respect for the coach that he is, and what we think he's going to even become bigger, and that's Mike Norvell at FSU. And then you add in and circle that game on the schedule like so many around here that we all have, looking forward to that one. I know there's North Alabama, and I know there's Troy, and be really careful not to lose, but for that game with 6 minutes to play against Troy to be a smidge uncomfortable.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and tack one on and kind of go up that proverbial 2 scores or maybe even 17 and make them throw and try to get the ball back and take some knees. That game, I think, is going to be scary like that. Not scary in jeopardy of losing, but scary in that, glad that's over.
Yes.
And then FSU, what we've been waiting for all year, since the end of the Liberty Bowl last year.
Absolutely.
Or when the schedule was finalized.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. I think every Tiger fan has had that game circled on the schedule of, all right, at Florida State, that stadium, that team, that identity, and then you add on your former coach, Mike Norvell, that I think most Tiger fans really love and appreciate what he did for the University of Memphis and are still rooting for him at Florida State. And so, yeah, that one will be a big one. It will be really cool here in 2 weeks when it's week 0 to wake up Saturday morning and that first game on television will be Florida State versus Georgia Tech in Dublin. And so you'll get kind of that early first look at what this Florida State team will look like.
We'll talk about it that Friday. We won't make picks until that first full week 1 Friday. But I love Haynes King at quarterback for Georgia Tech. I just don't know that he's got enough help to pull off the upset. I think right now that's 13.5. The money line's way up there. But that's for Georgia Tech to win straight up with Haynes King, a big-time Texas quarterback from Longview, Texas, went to A&M and didn't get a great deal out of Jimbo Fisher and got out of there and really was something to see last year for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, he was really good, and you got to believe that he'll only get better as time in that system. And so I'm excited for that whole Georgia Tech team, but certainly to see what he can do. Right now, Florida State, a 12.5-point favorite in Dublin. Right now, Georgia Tech money line plus 390.
Yeah,
so
that's healthy.
That is definitely large.
Fun to talk about if you want, but
sure,
not many of those.
No, not many of those at all. That's would definitely be a scary one to bet on.
Big deal, no big deal with everything with Coach Prime today with the reporter.
Yeah, it's weird because I was watching another clip during this last break because I saw before the show the one with the reporter from CBS who hey, this is so-and-so with CBS Sports in Denver. Started trying to ask a question, and Dion immediately, nope, you're with CBS. I'm not answering your question. And then went back and said, it's nothing against you personally.
What's the background on that? What's the issue with CBS?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's something when he was doing...
CBS local guy?
So he was CBS local guy, but he said it was an issue with CBS nationally because that's what the reporter was like. Well, I'm a local guy with the CBS.
Well, that's like somebody
affiliate.
being mad at us over something Fox Radio says.
Right.
I mean,
and so he was like, I'm just here in Denver.
He'd be mad at me over plenty, I say.
Yeah, and
you're mad over something Colin Cowherd says.
Exactly. And Dion was like, no, I understand that. I'm telling you, it's nothing against you personally, but I'm not answering any questions from anybody with CBS.
That's right.
Yeah, and so I'm guessing it has something to do back when he was doing on-air work and with NFL games. And so it's got to be something with that in CBS. But I don't know exactly
Dion
what it all stems
from.
I guess not. And so that was interesting. Then there was another reporter from, I believe, like the Denver Post or something, like one of the local newspapers in Denver. And he started to ask his question. Yes, a reporter from the Denver Post. And he started to ask a question, and Dion stopped him and said, I'm not answering questions from you because you don't like us. And
so he shut down too?
He shut down too. And the reporter,
well, you can't be at war with everyone.
Him and the reporter had like a lengthy back and forth where the reporter was like, well, this is a football question. I just want to ask you about your team. And he was like, no, why do you not like us? Explain to me why you don't like us, and then I might answer your question. And he was like, no. And he was like, I don't understand. If I hated something, I wouldn't be around. So I don't know why you're here if you hate us. And the reporter was like, well, Coach, I got to pay bills. Like, this is my job. I'm here to cover your team.
It's my job.
Yes. And Dion shut it down and didn't like it. I don't think right now it is big deal, but I will say there is a lot of extra noise that can very easily be avoided around this Colorado program right now. From this, there were rumors last week, stories done last week about maybe the culture at Colorado. And so it just seems like a lot of extra stuff right now that I would not like with my team a couple weeks before the season starts.
And I know what that means. That's not generation me, but you do hear a lot of culture and vibe talk around a lot of it. I mean, the vibe's the big thing.
The vibes are off. Yes, Brett. That is definitely
all right, you asked Bruce Marshall, so I'm going to turn it around and ask you. Season total of 5.5 for the Colorado Buffaloes, led by one of the great ball players ever, Deion Sanders. They go over or under?
That's a good question because
you got it in front of you.
I don't have the schedule.
I think they
in front of
pull a repeat of last year. I think
Really?
they're Mr. September again. I have them 5-0 from August 31 through September 28th. That's wins home against North Dakota State, at Nebraska, at Colorado State, home against Baylor, and at UCF. Then they get one more the rest of the year, and that's my Liberty Bowl team.
Yeah, well, and see, that's the thing is I've seen so many people have them right at 6 wins, and you're absolutely right. It's a lot of winnable games at the beginning of the season, and then it gets really tough. I mean, here's how you end the season. Home versus Utah, at Kansas, home versus Oklahoma State. I mean, that's tough. And then you got Texas Tech right there on the road in Lubbock right before that. So it's a tough end of the season schedule, those last 4 games. But even these first two games, I mean, North Dakota State, I think they can beat them. That's going to be a difficult game. That'll be really tough on a Thursday night. And then the next game on the road against Nebraska, I know a lot of new there. They've got a true freshman quarterback that's likely going to be their starter. But that game isn't going to be easy for them.
I want this at 901-360-8255 at the Sissy's Log Cabin text line. Yes or no? Are you pulling for Deion Sanders?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, send those
yes
texts
or no?
in.
I would say yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say I'm pulling for him too. But I just, in terms of the over-under.
It feels like if Shedeur got hurt or when he turns pro and you're 5-6, last year 4-8, 1-8 in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
I mean, just no difference from the previous coaching staff in conference play. He could get real uninterested real fast.
Yeah.
Deion could.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could. And I'll be honest.
He wants to go watch Shedeur play in the NFL.
Yeah, he definitely does. So that's a great question. You're right.
And I would too.
Absolutely.
I want to go see my son play quarterback in the National Football League.
100%. Absolutely. But I don't know. I think if I had to pick the win total right now, I would go under because I think looking at it, we say right at 6.
Vegas got it set right.
They got it set exactly right. I would just take the value. I think right now it's like plus 150.
Never forget, when we're sleeping, they're scheming.
Oh, they all hours of the day, Brett. They're pulling double shifts, triple shifts. They always got to have the edge for sure. But that's why you get everything free out there is because they're always working. But let's go ahead and
complimentary golf.
Exactly.
Play enough.
Complimentary everything, Brett. Let's get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for big number of the day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no-obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to give back to communities across the state. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. They're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers and tournament participants as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield helps communities, please visit bcbst.com.
Fox Sports Radio's teamed up with Tire Rack this summer to give away a set of 4 tires every 2 weeks through August 25th. 3 lucky winners will each receive a set of 4 tires from Tire Rack, plus vehicle installation, taxes, and fees valued up to $1,500. To get all the info and official rules, visit foxsportsradio.com. Make sure to enter daily for your chance to win. Furnished by Tire Rack. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Is your house or your office moving? Impossible! Not call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's Wilson's consider their services so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 915246799, or online at wilsonsprowash.com. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I have two big numbers today, and the first one is actually something Connor pointed out to me at the very end of our last segment. I didn't have enough time to read what he was trying to show me and bring it up, but I don't think my big number is 15. I don't think this is why Deion Sanders would be mad at CBS, but it might just add some fuel to the fire. And from a man that we'll talk to Monday afternoon, David Cobb put out his Big 12 coach rankings for this season 2 hours ago. David Cobb posted it. There's no way this is the reason, but I'm sure it will add fuel to the fire. Deion Sanders comes in at number 15 out of 16 head coaches.
Whoa.
How about that?
Whoa. I'm trying to do. I don't know if I agree or disagree.
I don't know. Here's what it is. So
right.
16, Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. 15, Deion Sanders. 14, Scott Satterfield at Cincinnati. 13, Brent Brennan at Arizona. 12, Dave Aranda at Baylor.
I do agree.
Wow. So I don't even need to go any further.
Yeah,
you agree with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, then you get into Neil Brown and
Kalani Sitake and Joe
Matt
McGuire.
Campbell.
Yes, Gus Malzahn, Willie Fritz.
Who was David's number one? It's got to be Kyle Whittingham.
It's Kyle Whittingham, followed by Lance Leopold. That's his 1, 2, and then 3 is Chris Kleiman. So that's his top 3. Mike Gundy right there behind him at 4. So how about that? Our buddy David Cobb adding fuel to the fire.
Who would you make a strong case he's ahead of? It's not Sitake. It's not Aranda.
I think he's right. But I think if Deion saw this, now that we know that he has this large hatred to CBS, I don't think he'd be happy with that.
I don't think he would either. We'll sure talk to David about that on Monday.
Yes, we will.
You know, one way to change these rankings is go out and win 8 or 9 ball games.
Yes, go out and win a lot this year. Certainly go to a bowl would help.
Last year he just did nothing but make a lot of noise.
Yeah, no, I am definitely with you on that. I do want to bring this up. We've had a couple of texts come in on your question about Deion. Are you rooting for him? Are you not rooting for him? We have one texter that says, yes, he is. Another texter that says, no, Deion will be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and his son will be Dak's replacement. Oh, man, that would definitely be
that's
interesting.
A bold prediction.
That is a bold prediction. That's like your baseball prediction for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's a big one right there.
Yours might have more legs than Deion, but certainly
which one of which prediction?
I'm blanking on
Tony
the name.
Vitello.
Yeah, Vitello being the head coach for the Cardinals.
I'd forgotten about that.
Scotty Oates.
That lunacy.
Yes.
Out.
Scotty Oates hit us up on Twitter and said, maybe don't post clips of incomplete passes into touchdowns and wait until you do something in big boy football. Colorado isn't sniffing a bowl
Deion's
game.
a big target, isn't he?
He's a big target, and he's an easy target, Brett.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he doesn't mind it. He's not scared of it.
And he's
and if he had to walk away, it wouldn't
No.
bother him a lick.
No, but he's one of those larger than life figures that really you either love him or you hate him. There's not much in between when it comes to Deion.
Right now on Twitter, I follow a great NFL Twitter site, and just a really nice person too that runs it. It's all positivity. It's all good stuff. And it's Kevin Gallagher, and he retweeted from Old Time Football, "Happy birthday, Deion Sanders!" In the first quarter of his first game, he takes back a punt 68 yards for a touchdown. You got to go to it, Brian, and see it. If nothing else, to see old Atlanta, Fulton County with the infield cut out because it was one of those round that shared everything.
Yep.
and he breaks it when he gets to about the 30. He starts high stepping, and it's vintage prime.
Oh yeah, no, it's I saw that video, and no, when you watch Deion Sanders highlights and clips, it's unbelievable, and
he backed it up.
Yes, he absolutely
in two
did.
sports.
It's incredible, and so now we'll see what he does with Colorado this season. But certainly, just like last year, I think anytime Deion's your head coach, you're going to have every single eyeball on you, and that's not going to change this year.
My big number is 11. That's how many games last year Mizzou won. They were 11-2 and champions of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Gary Pinkel, he won 12 in 2013, their second year in the SEC. Eli Drinkwitz trying to get Mizzou in the college football playoffs, many predicting that he will this year. In 2017, Gary Pinkel led Mizzou to an AP final rank of number 4. That's their highest ever in their football history. They went 12-2 that year and blasted Arkansas in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, with Tony Temple rushing for a Cotton Bowl record of 281 yards, breaking Dickie Magel's longstanding record. I was there. Arkansas was a mess. That's when Houston Nutt was fired and already taken the Ole Miss job, and Reggie Herring was the interim coach. But all the staff of Houston's was still at Arkansas. They contractually had to stay there and coach to the bitter end. Nobody cared. Tony Temple ran all over them. But Eli Drinkwitz, from a year ago right now, he's way ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a really good big number. I did not know that.
I don't know that they have enough defense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I don't think they're close.
I'm a little when we do Mizzou W's and L's. I'm going to be probably lighter than anybody around. I don't have them in the playoff. I don't have them matching last year's record.
Yeah, defense definitely a question. I mean, that offense was so good last year, but now,
I know the schedule.
Sure, but now you got to replace Cody Schrader and at running back, and if that doesn't pan out, if you
that
don't
doesn't come along every day, and they didn't even know they had that a year ago.
Exactly,
right now.
And so if you don't have that run game like you had last year, can that is the pass game as effective? Obviously, you got great players at quarterback and receiver to make it work, but no, Missouri's going to be very interesting this year, and I'm looking forward. We're getting very close to doing our wins and losses for all of these teams, but. Let's go ahead. We need to wrap up another hour, and when we come back, I've been excited for this next segment. I know Brett has too. He's been teasing it the last couple of days. We're going to take a look at the 1992 Dream Team roster and the 1996 Olympic men's basketball roster and talk about which is the better group. You have, obviously, the Dream Team, but really good team in 1996. Brett makes the case that 96 is better than 92. We'll talk about that next on Sports Time.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, a legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time. And Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Don't be surprised this week to see other jewelry store owners shopping at Genesis Diamonds. They'll be taking advantage of Genesis' most aggressive offer ever. All GIA diamond engagement rings are down an extra 20% below Genesis everyday price.
That's right, the vault is open, and we're selling the finest handcrafted diamond rings at rock bottom prices. Now for a very limited time.
The GIA is the gold standard of diamond buying, certified accuracy and documented quality, so you can buy with confidence.
Every Genesis engagement ring is included in this event. And carry up to 20 karat stones.
Ships are most qualified, special cuts, pure shapes, and products. Prices and estimates can be extra value price on a GIA. Purchase engagement ring. Selection against Genesis Diamonds. GIA Diamond Extend.
Save an extra 20% on some of your precious diamond rings. And offer a limited time.
Exclusively at Genesis Diamonds. Extends as well.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianelderroofing.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Jason's Deli. When you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and clean quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking the bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, locations at Ridgeway and Park Place Center, Whopper Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Highland Ranch. Jason's Deli, it's wholesome food and no surprises.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. An easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon, T-Dot. Just moved some of the damaged vehicles over to the side on 40 westbound here at Riverside Drive, right when you're starting over the Hernando de Soto Bridge headed over towards West Memphis. That's why it's been slow between Danny Thomas and Riverside. They are going westbound on I-40. It's looking a little bit better, actually, over here now where they cleared that earlier crash on 40 East around Sam Cooper. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub. Curbless shower conversion. HavenlyShowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
656 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And Brett hinted at this earlier this week, came up with the idea of talking about the 1992 Olympic team and the 1996 Olympic team and how they stack up against each other. So, Brett, the floor is yours. I can't wait. It feels like I have all the power. I'm going to make the decision on which team is better.
Feel free to disagree.
Right.
Feel free to be combative. And I would love for our listeners, if you're listening, you'd like to text or talk about it at 901-360-8255. Have at it. Brian, guess where I was during the 1996 Atlanta Olympics?
Right here.
You got it. That's where one of the dumbest 2 times I had great shots to go to the Olympics. 1984, my good friend Joe Klein owned the team. Said, get out here. You can stay with us in the Olympic Village.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that was Michael Jordan and
Holy
Patrick
cow.
Ewing. And I'd been in Washington with Patrick Ewing a little that summer, and I don't want to overdo it that we were buds, but we were okay. And, hey, come on out and enjoy. Didn't the turnaround from getting home from Washington and going back to Fayetteville was a little tight and going to Los Angeles. And then in 96, like in 94, my buddies tapped me to be the designated driver since I was about the only one capable out of the bunch I ran with. Isn't that something that I was responsible on? And wanted me to go to 94 World Cup in Dallas, passed. And frankly, that was not even a year yet after I'd quit drinking, and I trusted myself, but I didn't trust them.
Right.
So I passed on it. Then in 96 for Atlanta Olympics, they wanted me to go. And I passed on it, and I didn't, but I was right here, and I was making the case, and I made it, I won't say meekly, but I believed it, but I didn't fight over it because it was so fresh after 92. But I made the case then, that summer, why aren't we celebrating this team like we did 4 years ago? This team did it here, did it in the United States, in front of everyone, and that great Muhammad Ali moment and President Clinton presiding over the opening ceremony and great Atlanta moment, the Olympics in the deep South. And I go, how come we're not as gaga about this team as we did 92? And I started making that case then. I will now. And Keith Smith said I could die alone on this hill, and I kind of did then, and I don't mind it now. I mentioned earlier, just like in 92, the 96 team ultimately had 11 out of the 12 team members make the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not just for your college exploits. It's not just for your NBA exploits. It's what you did in your basketball life. And that's why Grant Hill is in. Now, Grant Hill, he finished with over 17,000 points. 17,000 points. And he had not been injured then. He was on his way to being one of the top 5, 8, 10 players of all time, just like Penny Hardaway was in 96. Grant Hill is in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Penny Hardaway should be. I was a little resistant to that when that first kind of cracked open as a topic, in late January, early February this year? And I was wrong to be resistant. Now with the case to be made for his NBA career with those 2 great years at Memphis. At Memphis, he did go to Elite Eight one of the 2 years. The next year, a tough first-round loss to Darryl Mee in Western Kentucky down in Orlando where he would start his NBA career. But the case to be made for Penny in the Hall of Fame is similar to the Gale Sayers case in the NFL. Sayers was inducted into Canton at 34. I mean, that's after the 5-year wait. I mean, he did. I think it's the fewest. I think it's like 67 games. It's the fewest number of games played. Penny Hardaway played longer than that, but the injury took him out from quintessential superstardom, unarguable superstardom. We all know that. The 92 team, so Penny's the only one from the 96 team not in the Hall of Fame. The only one from 92 is Christian Laettner, and he should be.
Right.
I think the greatest player, boy, this gets me in trouble every time, Brian. I think the greatest player in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Mm-hmm.
He played 4 years.
Yeah.
Not all the others did. Now, would they have? Yeah. Would Penny ultimately been the all-time leading scorer, leading rebounder, and probably leading assist guy if he had been at Memphis 4 years? He probably would have been, but he didn't. Keith Lee did and was leading scorer and leading rebounder, and I think when he finished was all-time or maybe second in block shots. On the teams, there are 5 players that was on 92 and 96.
Mm-hmm.
David Robinson, Scottie Pippen, Mailman, John Stockton, and Charles Barkley. They were all on 92. They were all on 96. I mentioned the other day when we were hashing this about, to add Akeem Olajuwon to the United States team in 96.
Yeah.
And I just mentioned how much I really do love Patrick Ewing, and wanted so badly one time when he was almost Grizzlies head coach.
Yeah.
I wanted it, if for no other reason, see if he would remember me from the summer of '84. I'm sure he wouldn't. But Akeem Olajuwon, and I said it, and got a really ugly tweet. Look, people, you can disagree, but I don't think you got to go in quite like this person did. Well, Akeem Olajuwon had more points than Patrick Ewing at the end. About 26,000. Patrick Ewing had 25,000. He had more rebounds at the end of his career, about 14,000 to 12,000. And Akeem is still the all-time leading shot blocker.
Yeah.
And 2 titles.
Right.
Patrick Ewing only played in, one NBA Finals in 99?
Yep.
I think that would be about it. So give me Olajuwon any day of the week.
Certainly.
I can make the case that 96 Scottie Pippen was better than 92 Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
He was really developing as a player. He was good in 92, but he was even better, more in his prime in 96 than in 92. Charles Barkley, about the same, maybe a little better in 92 than in 96. No doubt for David Robinson. David Robinson 96 was better than David Robinson 92. David Robinson wasn't on another Olympic team after that, but he was better in 98, 99 than he was probably in either of these Olympics. So I think he was a little better. Mailman and Stockton, weren't they always cyborgs the whole time? They were the same thing.
Yes.
Their entire one at Gonzaga and the other one at Louisiana Tech, and then together with the Jazz, they were kind of always the same players. Give me Shaq, over Patrick Ewing. Give me Shaq over. I'm trying to find another big man from '92. Christian Laettner. That's a little unfair because he wasn't a back to the basket post player. Give me and I'm not doing this just to try to make my case. Give me Mitch Richmond, 96, over Clyde Drexler, 92.
Interesting.
And Keith Smith talked about, and we all, the moments in our lives, it's hard to shake us when we kind of have that embedded in our mind. He was talking about how big seeing Bird and those guys play together.
For sure.
Bird was at the very end in 92. He was a ceremonial player. Magic Johnson most definitely was a ceremonial player. And I hate to crack on this guy, but I think he probably played the role in 92 against Reggie Miller in 96. Give me Reggie Miller out there draining threes over Chris Mullin any day of the week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brett, you lay down a great case.
I think so. I believe it. At this point, I've dug too deep to turn around.
No, but I think, you look at these two rosters and, you kind of just mentioned it. When you try to look at the bigs on both these two teams, very clearly you've got dominant bigs on 96, and obviously you have the overlap with David Robinson.
And you got great wings and guards on both.
On both teams.
I will say it, and it's not. It's the thing about comparing, like with all the comparisons of Coach Nick Saban to Coach Bryant. You invariably walk into almost having to run one down. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I do not want to do that. But 96 Penny Hardaway
yeah.
was better than 92 Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Over the course of the career, no.
Sure.
I understand that. Now, Keith's attitude and sentiment, so many people have read and how that 92 team changed global basketball and memorialized and canonized and the tributes to them. It's almost impossible for you to enter into a discussion. You just mention it and go, oh, you crazy. 92 is the best thing that ever. It's a little, and here's the thing about arguing, and you almost have to run somebody down. It was the whole end of the 20th century thing. And I talked last week about how hard lists are to do. And the whole end of the 20th century, best athlete of it. And I resisted and argued against Muhammad Ali because the case could even have been made he wasn't the best heavyweight of the 20th century. That case could legitimately be made. Was he electrifying? Was he some pop culture figure? No question about it. With everything on and off the court, the name change, the draft, everything about him was big. But we weren't doing newsmaker. We were doing the best athlete, and that's why I argued Jack Nicklaus, because there was nobody. There wasn't a single person going, oh yeah, now, really Hogan was better than Nicklaus. Nobody made that case, and he finished the 20th century with 18 majors. So that's the thing about all the lists and comparing. You don't want to run somebody down, and then when it gets stuck in people's mind, you're not changing them.
No, and you look at this, I think, when you brought it up, you just mentioned you even bring the idea up of 96 being better than 92, and people will say you're crazy. And when you brought it up earlier this week, I kind of side-eyed you, like, oh, okay. But, when you look at it, and it's because you have the names, the bigger-than-life team of, Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Patrick Ewing, and you just have all of these names, Scottie Pippen, the greats of that time and some of the greats of basketball. And so when you just think of those names, you think of, oh, greatest team ever, and then how it's been remembered and memorialized in the books and the documentaries and everything that goes around with it.
It becomes such a pop culture, tribute that it's almost impossible to go against it.
Sure, and it just becomes, like you said, it becomes its own thing and its own larger than life image. But I think you look at these, and it's what makes it tough with lists or with comparing things that obviously would never face off against each other, is you never really know which is actually the best. But I think that's why it's interesting to look at both sides. And I think the side that you point out is a really good one of, look at these bigs they have. Look at Shaq in there. Look at Penny Hardaway before the injuries. Look at the shooting they have.
Gary Payton.
Yeah, Gary Payton gets kind of lost in the shuffle when you talk about this team, and he's an unbelievable player.
Didn't need a lot of defense, but if you needed it, he provided. The big advantage that's just almost impossible to overcome is the same one when I throw out about Christian Laettner, the best player in the history of the ACC. Because then they go, well, Jordan played in the ACC. Yes, he did for 3 years and won one national championship. Laettner was there 4 years. That was more. But Jordan being on that 92 team, it's just hard to fight him.
Sure, and he's the best player to ever play the game, and so any team that he's associated with,
and I agree with that. I think he is.
Definitely.
I do think you could, if you just really wanted to make the argument and win a hard-head contest, you could jump on the Wilt Chamberlain side. Sure. And I would jump on the Kareem side, but I don't really believe that. I think I could make the case, but I don't really believe it.
Right. And so, but when you talk about Michael Jordan, you look at a team that he led and a team that was so dominant in the Olympics, then it's hard to argue that. But I was shocked when you brought up the other day, a 61-point win over China in the Olympics. That's incredible. That just doesn't happen every
92
day.
had those same winning margins, but by 96 we had already taken a bigger step international ball. Sure. In 96 team still defeated people like that.
Yeah, so that's interesting, and I was looking at both these rosters, and I think I'm with you. I think maybe narrowly, but I would maybe take 96 over 92, which sounds Hard to say.
I've had somebody explain it to me. I don't think they adhere to this as much anymore, but both of these rosters started with uniform number 4.
Yes.
And went all the way through 4 through 15.
Interesting.
In both years. In 92, Leitner was 4. Mm-hmm. In 96, Barkley was 4. Yeah. In 92, David Robinson was 5. In 96, Grant Hill was 5. Patrick Ewing, uniform number 6. Penny Hardaway, uniform number 6 in 96. Bird, number 7. When was the last time he was number 7 in anything? David Robinson, number 7 in 96. Scottie Pippen, number 8 in both Olympics in 92 and 96. Michael Jordan, 9 in 92. Mitch Richmond, number 9 in 96. Clyde Drexler, 10. Then Reggie Miller, 10. Karl Malone, 11 both times. John Stockton, appropriately, 12 both times. It fell on his number. Mullen, 13 in 92. Shaq, 13 in 96. Barkley, 14 in 92. Gary Payton, 14 in 96. Magic, 15. And then Hakeem Olajuwon. I had somebody explain to me one time why international basketball numbered like that, and I can't remember the explanation. And I don't think they're doing that this year, are they? I'm trying to think.
I don't know. I've not paid that close enough attention to the jersey numbers, so I can't answer that.
I'm trying to find the roster myself. Yeah. But my North Carolina friends come out on any Leitner better than the best player in the history of the ACC.
Well, yes, that's a hard argument to make.
They'll really get mad at me. Well, they may not be as mad at me when I say this. Tyler Hansbrough's ahead of Jordan in history of the ACC too.
Whoa! Don't say that too loud.
He played 4 in points and rebounds.
He did.
I know Jordan would have, but he didn't. I know Penny would have in the pros, but he didn't.
Right. That's interesting. I love Tyler Hansbrough. Yes, they are still starting at 4 and going through 15.
Oh, they are?
Mm-hmm. So
somebody helped me with that explanation. Yeah, I had somebody give that to me one time.
Yeah, so Steph is 4 this year, and then it goes all the way up to 15.
This friend makes a good case. He says David Thompson's the best player in the history of the ACC. But I think he only played 3 years because of freshman eligibility. Help me if that's not accurate, somebody out there. Then he says Ralph Sampson, second, and I will fight against that. He was great. 3-time National Player of the Year, burst on the scene to sign with UVA, lived on the famous lawn at Charlottesville. You can't lose to Chaminade.
No, yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, it sticks with you. Can't do that. No, you cannot lose to Chaminade. That would not be not good. We talked earlier about and kind of tying this to today's Olympic team. I thought this was interesting. We already knew yesterday USA versus France tomorrow for gold. But this afternoon, I mentioned it when we started the show, France and Belgium were playing in women's basketball competition semifinals. France came back. They were down by, I think, 6 or so at half. They end up coming back, forcing overtime, and winning in OT.
Good for them. They've been a great host.
They have been a really, really good host. So now it will be USA versus France in both men's and women's basketball finals. How about that?
That's a good one. And as I said at the beginning of the Olympics, we've had so much fun with it. There's a couple of things if you wanted to gotten mad over opening ceremonies. I didn't. Whatever. What will L.A. do to top it?
Well, it's a good question.
L.A. can go weird on us.
They definitely can.
And I said during it live that day, there's some what the heck moments going on.
Sure.
But it wasn't going to cause me to not watch and be that outraged. I know plenty are.
Sure.
I'm not looking to be. I'm trying to have fun with this.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, clock ticking. Let's get to the finish line.
Yes,
safety.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right, and it feels like so far it's been a good Olympics. Maybe take all the show out of it. I know, like you said, a lot of people, there's some out there that were really upset about that. But if you actually just talk about the games, the competitions, it's been really good. I know we had some issues with the river, the Sin River. That was a little.
Couldn't we see that one coming?
It felt like it, but hey, we had all this.
I mean, when was the last time it was
billions
really
of dollars.
clear water and clean on the River Sin?
Yeah, no, it was that was kind of the low point of the
1750?
Olympics. Yeah.
A couple 300 years ago.
Yeah, maybe. We had a texter just text in asking about this Olympic team and said, if Ja was healthy, would he be on this Olympics team? And I think interesting because I don't know if he would have been on the initial
but next time
roster,
he can be.
certainly in 2028. But there was a report going around when Kawhi dropped out. They added Derek White, and then there was questions about Kevin Durant and his availability. There was reports coming out that John Morant's team had been contacted about him being with the Olympics and his health, but obviously was still coming back from injury, and that there had been talk previous during the injury on where he was along his process, even back when they were putting the team together to see if he would be healthy enough to maybe be an available player that they could choose. So yes, he will definitely be 2028 as long as he stays healthy. He will be a name in the mix for an Olympic spot.
Won't that be a comeback story?
Oh, it would be incredible. And imagine
it's there for him to do.
Oh yeah,
I sure hope he does.
And imagine all of the Team USA Ja Morant jerseys that will sell here in Memphis if he is named to the 2028 team. It would be really cool to watch.
I get one, but I go with the T-shirt on.
There you go. I like
Pat
that.
Ewing
Yes,
style.
There you go.
He kind of brought back that look. This weekend we're going to be enjoying the weekend and enjoying the fun times. I know a lot of back to school events. Perfect place to have the big catering job or the small catering job, or for right now to get something for dinner time. Do it at Jason's Deli. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whether you're dining in, to go, or delivery. Wholesome food forever. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli. Whether it's 5 or 5,000, a variety of delicious choices for breakfast, lunch, and all-day meals. Low delivery fees. And if you feel like you don't have your event properly planned, step aside. Same-day and last-minute orders are welcomed. That's when they really excel, but they excel with everything. All these great locations, I promise you, there's one close by you, like over at Ridgeway Road near us at the radio station across from MUS. By the University of Memphis, it is hopping over there, school getting ready to really be going strong at Poplar and Highland, and down in Olive Branch and out in Cordova. One close by, plenty of organic food to choose from, and a common denominator in every restaurant. Well, there are a lot of common denominators. The friendly service, how clean it is, how great the food is, and that salad bar. Over 30 items to choose from for you to prepare it however you would like. Jason's Deli, all about choice, whether you want vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, gluten-free, they've got it covered. You will be delighted whether you're ordering off the menu or that salad bar. However you're ordering, however you're doing it, it's always healthy. First franchise in the nation to be trans fat free, and in every location at Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Cordova and Olive Branch, complimentary free ice cream, and they are with us next week at the golf tournament like they're with us at SEC Media Days and really year round. Thank you so much to that group with over 200 area associates, and they will be feeding all the volunteers one day next week. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Let's grab a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
If you own a business, you know Luttrell Belting keeps you moving. Luttrell has cost-effective belts, conveyor components, and 24/7 on-site service to keep you operating smoothly. Text are just a phone call away at 800-441-8946 or online at LuttrellBelting.com. Luttrell's Memphis plant stocks belting in nearly every size and finish, and if they don't have it, they'll make it. From ordering to selection, fabrication, and installation, your Luttrell sales rep is there for you. Luttrell Belting keeps you moving.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg in East Memphis Heights. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with good temperatures for below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched all-night wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get more Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Heights on the corner of South Light Station and Prince Road.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call getgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
The best golfers in the world are coming to Memphis for the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Sports 26 and 98.5 FM will be broadcasting live at TPC Southwind throughout the day, Wednesday through Friday of tournament week, keeping you up to date with the latest tournament news and talking with the players and officials. Our coverage of TPC Southwind on Sports 26 and 98.5 FM is brought to you by Landers Ford in Carterville, also sponsored by Town Village Auto and Park, Wilson's Power Wash, Raid Incorporated, North Mississippi John Deere Dealer, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Jason's Deli.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia, to Central Park in New York. But many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 per person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Finishing up the paperwork on this car fire from earlier on 240 westbound between Walnut Grove and Poplar. Trying to clean up this earlier wreck up here on 40 westbound at Riverside Drive. There's a lot of rubbernecking associated with this one until they can get it out of here on 40 west, starting across that Hernando de Soto Bridge. All the major outbound routes have really started to pick up, so give yourself extra time. Weimer's Jewelry right here in Memphis. They specialize in bridal ring purchases. Go by and see them this weekend at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. We got about 30 minutes left in today's show, and we got to talk about what's trending. And we just got done talking some Olympic basketball from back in the day, 92, 96 teams. The debate on which is the better team. Brett, I thought you laid down a very compelling case for your side, the 96 side. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are going to fall back on 92.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Dream team.
They're so mythologized. It's just impossible
to
go against it. My own friends have killed me.
Man. Oh, I hate that. Well, some news about this year's Team USA team. Shams Charania, about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, reported this on Twitter. Team USA is planning to start all-time leading scorer Kevin Durant versus France in Saturday's gold medal game at the Paris Olympics, per sources. Drew Holiday is expected to come off the USA bench. Kevin Durant has been coming off the bench, kind of that second-team unit that has been really the star of the game so far, but it looks like they'll make a change, and we'll have that three-headed monster, Steph, LeBron, and KD in that starting lineup.
Just win. Just by one. That's all we need. Be on that gold medal stand. That's it. And I think that should be enough for the detractors. I don't know if it's ever enough.
Probably not.
and I had plenty to detract from after Philippines last summer.
Sure.
I don't think Steve Kerr deserves too big a hero cookie. You know, the coaches don't get a medal.
That's right. Yes. Just as.
But I'm sure there will be some special designation. Who was it? I think one of the players did give Mike Krzyzewski a medal. Somebody maybe had won a couple.
That doesn't surprise me.
Gave him one. Joel Embiid says he's looking forward to the reception he's going to get tomorrow. And it's going to be quite a reception. And they're playing at the larger arena. You know, almost 28 to 30,000 will be at that game. And he says he might play in 2028 in Los Angeles for Cameroon.
Really? Okay, interesting.
And okay,
good for him if he does. Yeah,
you know, Keem Olajuwon was from Lagos, Nigeria.
Sure,
He got U.S. citizenship, dual citizenship, and then played for the Olympic team here. I have no problem whatsoever with it.
No, not
Tim
at all.
Duncan.
Not at
Same
all.
Same thing.
But yes, it's going to be quite the reception for him tomorrow. He's already been getting it with French fans that have been in attendance for other USA games. He walked off the court after yesterday's win, asking for more boos from the fans that were there and more heckling from the fans. So he'll definitely get it tomorrow. I think he's definitely ready for it, but I can't wait. 2:30 tomorrow, USA in France. It should be a really fun game.
Couple of Jim Harbaugh stories in the news today. One, he's going to be honorary captain.
How about that?
Oh, I love it. Just please, Michigan, stay with it, and
That's
everybody support them. They're the one going rogue that we need.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't help if Colorado State goes rogue. It just doesn't. No. I mean, and in this neighborhood, as many times as I think wrongfully picked on, like the Tigers and Ole Miss. Tigers and Ole Miss can't go rogue and show anything. Michigan can. Stand up to them and tell them to collectively stick it, and Harbaugh's going to be there, and I think he should be, and I think he should be very combative.
Yep.
Another story, the local Charger beat writers. Very easy to criticize someone. And I think it should be asked, but he was peppered with questions in his Chargers media availability about the Michigan questions. At some point, if you're covering the Chargers, after you've asked it and you've got swatted away like they can do us, stop asking it. It's germane to nothing with his Charger employment and his Charger job. Now, if a Detroit Free Press writer flies all the way to Los Angeles to get Harbaugh's side of it for the Michigan angle, I can see it. But if you're covering the Chargers after it's been asked, it's been asked. Move on.
Yeah, Mr. Hey, Bryant Dacus here from boltup.com. What do you think about this Michigan? I understand it the day that came out. Fine. Maybe an update here about it. You ask a question, fine. But when we're a couple days down the line and he's already said, I'm not answering questions about Michigan, let's worry about what our
I don't really want to
is.
answer any questions about the Chargers, but I have to. But I'm sure not answering any about Michigan.
Exactly. So, no, I understand it day of when news like that comes out. Sure, ask it. You got to make him say, I'm not answering, or, next question. But after that, let's get back to Charger questions. Let's not worry or stay on this one topic that he very clearly doesn't want to talk about.
And the coach for Lyle says he had 102-degree fever when he won bronze.
Wow. Yeah, and we had a texter. I didn't see the text until earlier today, so I thank him for texting in. But because I didn't get to watch that race. I think it was happening right before we got on air, but said that he was taken out yesterday after the race in a wheelchair. And so I missed that. And so, yeah, very, very interesting with Noah Lyles.
That might be dehydration from that fever. But
could be, yeah.
I still say he was in the race, and I don't know if it was an excuse or not, but I think when you come in bronze, I don't know if we go, what I was sick.
Yeah.
I had COVID.
Yeah, no,
COVID's not really a thing.
Yeah, and so that was definitely, I know a lot of people last night and today have definitely been questioning, well, why'd you really go out and say that after the race? Did you really want people to know you're sick, or are you trying to put some blame on that instead of the fact that you did not win the race? Brett,
he's had a good Olympics.
Oh, he has a really good. He's a really, really unbelievable track athlete, and he has definitely had a really good Olympics. Brett, you mentioned this earlier to me off air, and we really haven't had any time to talk about it since then. But Tom Pelissero, that covers the NFL, has been doing some reporting this afternoon on Brandon Ayuk and the situation that is going on right now. An hour ago, he tweeted out, the 49ers have made a renewed effort in recent days to strike a long-term deal with wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, sources tell me. The situation is fluid and other teams, including Pittsburgh, are still in the mix, but a return to San Francisco appears increasingly possible. Then after that, he tweeted again and said, so this is where things stand at the moment. After months of speculation, sporadic negotiations, and recent trade talks, the 49ers are pushing to get a deal done that keeps Brandon Ayuk in San Francisco for the long haul. Nothing done, but finally, things are moving. And then the last thing that has happened on Tom Pelissero's Twitter page is somebody posted it on Instagram, and Brandon Ayuk commented on the post on Instagram that said, Brad, Niners will be in the media every day, LOL. It's two options out there. Pick one and stop dropping reports. Simple. So Brandon Ayuk doesn't like that this information is getting out there. What do you think is happening in San Francisco?
Tom Pelissero's doing his job, and a lot of LOLs out there. That was C.D. Lamb's reply to Jerry Jones, too. I think Brandon Ayuk gets in camp and signs a big deal and lives happily ever after. And the 49ers, they're my NFC team to go to the Super Bowl. I've got a rematch. I'm going to have a rematch of Marino versus Joe Montana from back in the day with Dolphins and 49ers when we get to that in a few weeks. But I also, for C.D. Lamb, I think he's in camp in a week from now.
Hope so. That situation is weird.
You don't leave that many game checks out.
No, not at all.
And look, I hope you get the money, but you signed the deal.
Exactly. And so obviously, all these players, they want that the deserving players want the money that they think that they're good enough to get. And C.D. Lamb has shown, Brandon Ayuk has shown, these players have shown that they're worth that amount of money and that extension, that new contract. And so I don't blame them for trying to get that next payday. But you're right. I think with both of them, we should get some finality, some answer on both of those, I would hope, in the next week.
Which one of these two long days of sports on this Friday, August 9th, would you have most wanted to be a part of? At the Wyndham, where they started early this morning, got to play late, and they're not even going to try a second round today. Or would you have wanted to been at the doubleheader in Minnesota, in Minneapolis?
I think I would. Man, that's tough. I think I would rather be at the doubleheader.
I think me too.
I think I would rather go with that one.
I think so too. We can get enough golf.
Yeah,
we're going to get plenty of golf next week. Speaking of that, I want to check. We were checking forecasts, and let's see how good we don't need the Al Gore 200 year from now prediction on the forecast. We just need Channel 3 to get it right for next week. Thursday, 94.77.
Okay.
It could be worse. Cloud cover.
Yes.
94.77 on Friday, 94.76 Saturday, 91.73 on Sunday. I'll take all that.
I'll take that.
What people think it was going to be like?
Yeah.
The latest we've ever had a tournament.
Exactly. Now, Saturday and Sunday could be a lot different. Both those days showing no cloud coverage, so it could get a little warm, a little toasty on those 2 days. But yes, I would definitely take
Brian,
mid-90s.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. I'm at my Channel 3 app as we speak, and it says a mix of sun and clouds.
So dueling weather forecast.
High 94 winds northwest at 5 to 10.
I love that.
I've got my radar pinpointed at TPC Southwind.
I love that. That's great. Well, I definitely trust yours than my janky app that came on my iPhone. I think yours
you're
might
just
be
going
a
with
little
the
better.
factory app?
Yeah, it's just closest to me, bro. I just had to click on something. I mean, I want to see what the
we're not going
forecast
for
was.
200 years from now temperature, are we? We just want a week from today.
We just need him to be right next week from today. That's all
That's
we're
it.
asking. 1 week. That's not
Just like all our preseason predictions.
Exactly. Yes.
That never go wrong.
Exactly. We're always right, Brett. We always know what we're doing. No, I'm excited. Only a couple weeks away, we'll be doing our wins and losses for the upcoming season, so it should be a lot of fun. But we need to get to a break, our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show. We'll wrap up this week with Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Wash your house, wash your office building? Impossible! Not call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash. 1-524-6799 or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. You'll find the lowest rates on Tuesday through Thursday afternoons. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy, so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Place an order online today, metalsupermarkets.com.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to be here for their neighbors while giving back to communities across the state throughout the year, every year. This month, they're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. This year, their goal is to reach $3 million in donations for kids at St. Jude's, and they couldn't do it without the support of their amazing volunteers. To all the participants, thank you for being a part of this most important endeavor to lift up so many families across the state from right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about Team Blue volunteers, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Healthy Places, and other ways they're devoted to helping our communities, please visit bcbst.com.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns, to turnovers, and overturned plays.
After review, pass is incomplete.
Let's go! This season, season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday tickets from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia, to Central Park in New York. But many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 per person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year. I'm with John Burgos.
Now back to Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is we kind of saw some history last night. I was going to bring this up with my big number, but then I decided to change it. And Connor brought up a good point. This is like every kid's dream is, I'm up to bat, bottom of the ninth, World Series, big game in Major League Baseball, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 0-2 count. I got to get a hit to bring in a run. Well, last night, since pitches were first tracked in 1988, only one Major League Baseball player has delivered a walk-off hit in the below situation. Bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, down by multiple runs, team down to last strike and behind in the count. And Mitch Haniger did it last night, the first to do it since at least 1988, to give the Mariners a big win over the Tigers.
Yeah, they got 3 in the bottom of the ninth. Bruce Marshall was there, and that was a gift. That might be something you're looking for, any sign to get you going. Seattle's got to start hitting. What I learned, only one time ever has the United States lost in the game they're in tomorrow, and that was that game in 1972, sport's biggest robbery, when the United States decided not to accept the silver medal. Those guys don't want them. And Bruce said in a vault still in Munich, the final 3 seconds was replayed 3 times.
Wow.
And a lot of allegation of pure bribery by the Soviet Union of the officials.
Wow, that is a crazy story. What I could have done without George Mason is a very weird situation going on with their basketball program. They were supposed to start a Bahamas trip today with games today for part of their preseason schedule, but the whole thing has had to be canceled because of mix-ups. They got to the airport and found out they had no flight, they had no hotel rooms booked, had no games scheduled either for this trip that they were going on. But Jeff Goodman has tweeted out earlier this afternoon, Chris Williams, the organizer of George Mason's trip to the Bahamas, told the Field of 68 that he takes full responsibility for the cancellation of the trip. He said that the company he outsourced for flights never booked them, but that hotels and games were booked and scheduled, but they had to be canceled because of the flight situation. He also said that there's no truth to report that George Mason team got to the airport before finding out the flights hadn't been booked. So we're getting some mixed reports, but any way you slice it up, it's not good for George Mason.
I would imagine a basketball operations director and a travel coordinator got chewed out really good.
I can guarantee it.
Tough Friday for them. I could have done without very early in the new kickoff world of the NFL. It looks to me like you need a bunch of defensive ends, linebackers, and tight ends out there, bigger players to be that wall of defense. And heading into that, here's what they want to do, though. They want to have returns, but they don't want the car crashes we used to have with them.
No, you're absolutely right. So it's been interesting to kind of see what this new kickoff looks like. Every team's still trying to learn. I saw there were a lot of flags last night in the Giants game with kickoff. Teams really still trying to figure out how to make all of this work with this new kickoff. Where are you beaming tonight?
To Paris for basketball finals and closing ceremonies this weekend, and we want to see if we can produce the great moments that we've always had. We also want to see if the closing ceremonies produce any of the what the heck are they doing there, and then look out come L.A. because they can really do weird and aberrant.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, I think, 4 years of people wondering what will happen in L.A. for the opening ceremonies. Beam me tonight to, I wish I could beam to all the NFL games, but I'll go Falcons, Dolphins. I think, Connor, did we ever figure out Michael Penix going to play tonight for the Atlanta?
I didn't figure that out, but he should.
Okay, he should.
I hope he's in there.
I want to see Michael Penix sling the rock. Obviously, an unbelievable college career. So
I want to see Justin Fields this weekend. I want to see Caleb Williams this weekend, and all the baseball. Philly at Arizona, Cleveland at Minnesota. See if the Twinks can put some pressure on Cleveland. They did in that first game today. And the Battle of Chicago, North versus South Side.
Yeah, really fun weekend of sports with preseason football action, baseball, and things wrapping up in Paris. But that's all the time we have today. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again Monday afternoon.